Hey, that lady is stealing my thunder. It is 5:46. I'm Danny Bonaduce. Well, that's weird how quickly you can forget how it goes. I don't know. Am I Danny Bonaduce? And then it's 5:46, or is it 5:46 and then I'm Danny Bonaduce? And all the time, this would be KZOK.
Yeah.
All right, I think I got it under control. Good morning.
Bonjour.
Bonjour, mon ami.
Bonjour, mon
Donde
ami.
es la toilette?
No, I think you're out now.
I didn't
There was
know.
a little bit of Spanish in there.
There was. Well, there was a little bit of Spanish in there. You know what I'm saying? I bet you don't know what I'm saying because it'd be gross if you did.
Do you know what's weird?
Yes.
You went to France.
Yeah.
But I felt like I was in France.
Well, you were looking
is
for
weird.
polar bears.
I was, but I have not been to Canada other than Vancouver for so long.
Right?
I had forgotten they're totally bilingual.
Yeah.
Everywhere you go, everything's in
Well,
English
it's an
and
open,
French.
society. I don't care that they're bilingual. It's fine. Whoever they want to talk to. They want to talk to a girl, fine. They want to talk to a boy, whatever. Have at it. You're all
But
Frenchies.
I felt like I was in French. It was very confusing.
Oh, well, you know what it's like because you were you were in France. If France sucked, that. So you went to go see, and I admire you. There was some stuff about polar bears on the news and things. So I thought that's what Sarah's doing. That's cool. So did you see them?
I did.
And were they as neat as you had hoped?
They were so great. I saw like a mama and a baby cub.
See,
and
this tone of voice that you're using will get you killed and eaten by an 8-foot tall bear. Oh, look at the polar bear. They're a ton, I think. No, they're 1,000 pounds.
Yeah.
1,000 pounds of carnivorous. You ever see them destroy an entire seal family?
On TV, thankfully only.
And not that German model woman either. It's Seal's family. It doesn't count at all. But yeah, they do nasty stuff.
Can I tell you, honest to God, it was Churchill, Canada, the most dangerous place I've ever visited. How weird is that to say?
Almost like that you don't get out.
That anywhere in Canada would be the most dangerous
Because
place.
I'm just going to throw in Chicago, just right there. Boom.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Let's
I've
see it.
been to some bad places, but no, you can't go anywhere by yourself unless you're armed. You are not supposed to leave your house without a pack
Because of the
people.
polar bears, not because
Yes.
not because of convicts.
Same rule when I shot a television show in Mexico City, though. You
Yeah?
couldn't go out anywhere
Right.
without a big. I thought, why do you need to be big? You have a machine gun. Machine gun makes you big. Hey,
Right.
you hire, break it out and hire some little Mexican guy to, guard the little American celebrity. That's what I was down there. It's funny because that show I'm talking about, Breaking Bonaduce, something I don't talk so much about. Like, I'll mention part of the show, no problem. That's cool.
Sure.
I was proud of it. Everything's great. Breaking Bonaduce was so horrifying and sad and embarrassing for everybody concerned, really. And my kids still hold a grudge in me about it. Yeah. And Shineham, she's getting married by a drag queen. What does she know? I just got the bill for the drag queen minister
Yeah, how much?
at my daughter's wedding. Well, it was $500. I don't know if that was like.
Oh, that's a bargain.
Is it a bargain? I don't know. That's transvestites at twice the price.
Well, I think if it had been RuPaul, it would have been two
That's
more
where
zeros.
that is where this started, and my connection with RuPaul. My connection with RuPaul was when you could probably get him if he wasn't going to do me a favor, and I can't see why he would. But his payday would have been 10 grand to show up anywhere. That's when I knew him. I would say today, you want him to do stuff 50 grand,
Yeah,
100 grand.
That drag race show has been huge.
Forever, and then it would come with, well, I don't know what a good sport he is or not. When I met him, he was a very good sport. But, you could actually get in, your husband could dress up in your wedding clothes and then have an actual race or some crap like that to make it worth $50,000 to $100,000.
Yeah.
But anyway, so I told her, much like I told her with Disneyland recently, she said, hey, Dad, are there any strings you can pull and get me into Disneyland? I don't have that kind of money. And I said, honey, there's no strings at Disneyland ever. I think they pulled a string once for Michael Jackson and they regretted it.
Yeah.
And he'd worked, he was an employee. He did the Captain EO thing.
Right.
I said, there are no strings. Let me just send you the money. Which she did. And I shouldn't have done. Have I been tricked? Did I just get tricked about? I
think so.
Yeah. So anyway, it's a $500 drag queen who is officiating my daughter's wedding. Now this wouldn't bother me so much if it didn't bother me so much, but it doesn't bother me at all. What do I care? I have a rather intimate relationship with drag queens. A lot of other people are not gonna. Her mother and father, the religious, oh my God, out of control. They don't just say prayers. And by the way, don't make me hold your hand. If you want to say prayer, if you feel the need to talk to Jesus before we can have pork, fine. But why do I have to hold your hand during it? I don't like it. But anyway, these guys are serious and devouts, and
her grandparents. You mean
your ex-in-laws?
Yeah, my ex-in-laws. They're yes to all of that. But I think they're going to keep a stiff upper lip about it. But I think they're going to hate drag queens at a wedding and that everybody's in costume.
But they also know her. They know that she's not a church-going, white dress-wearing, buttoned-up lady. She's just not your daughter.
Most certainly is not. But I will see that and raise you, be polite. They hate it. It's against the things they believe. Everything, I think, by the way, for them to be against drag queens or homosexuals or whatever it is, they're wrong. Not my daughter. Yeah. They're way out of line. To do it, to parade it in, underwear. I was trying to think of a very clever name for underwear, and I could not think. They had the ruffled kind.
Yeah.
Panties.
No. Fancy pants.
Everybody can think fancy pants.
Fancy pants.
Fancy pants. No, that's what you call me when I'm dressed up.
Yeah.
Knickers.
I call you a dandy.
Knickers, maybe knickers.
Bloomers.
No, go back to knickers.
Yeah, and either way, we are now discussing my daughter's underwear. I don't see any reason to do that. So I was in Paris. I said that lady steal my thunder. Do you remember the lady that climbed up the Statue of Liberty?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, before that, I went to the towers or steeples of what's the name of that place? Notre Dame.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, we didn't get to go into the church. You get to go into the towers. Yeah, well, that's great. What happens when you step in? There's spiral staircase, no much wider apart than your shoulders. If you keep your shoulder against one side of the wall, you can keep your other shoulder against the part where you could hold on. So what that means is anybody that's going is behind you, and they're going. And so I don't even know what's happening. I just go and I start climbing up the things at big fancy church where hunchbacks.
It's like a big spiral staircase.
Yes, but really big. And here's the thing, though. You can't stop. There's no place to stop. You're right in the middle of a spiral staircase with 100, 200 people who, by the way, are gasping for breath. A couple of people, I don't know if they actually got sick, like a young lady, maybe 18 years old. We got it when we eventually got to the top. She had her head between her knees.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah, and I don't know if that's a thing you do so you don't puke or so you don't faint or whatever it is, but whatever it is, it's a bad thing. And so I am huffing and puffing, and I make a reference to that this is about the peak energy spent when I was fighting. Like, that's what it's like. The only big difference now is somebody's punching you in the face. So it seems worse, but it's as hard as I've ever done anything. There's no, aside from this event or aside from that, no, I've never done anything more difficult on my heart and my lungs than climbing up the towers and keeping going. And then I get outside and blah, blah, and everybody's like, several people are fainting and barfing. They're not physically barfing, but they're making noises like they're going to barf. And one of the tour guides tries to make us feel better and says, well, you just went up 400 steps. And we all just went, yeah, shut up. And he said, the Statue of Liberty is only 300.
Oh, wow.
So now we know what has damaged us. It's our pursuit of happiness, except it's happening at a church in France. My goodness gracious. But it was... when I got up the next day, I was still a little bit injured from that, and I canceled some of Amy's clipboard of fun.
Oh wow!
I said I can't do this today. I'm going to be sick. I'm all spent, and I think it kind of affected the entire. So that was like day 1 or 2, and I think that was like I felt and was aware that I had done that for the whole trip. Oh. So, yeah, but it's good to know that I've climbed the entire Statue of Liberty without being chased for no good reason. And then that chick did it, and everybody wanted to talk to her because she was so special, and I was just religious.
Well, there certainly is a lot going on this morning. A big update to the rescue operation underway in Thailand, Donald Trump's Supreme Court nomination, but we will start with some local news. 2 people managed to escape when their boat caught fire in Lake Washington last night. The fire was reported in the waters off of Kenmore just after 8 p.m. The boat had become fully engulfed. 2 people on board had to jump into the lake to flee the flames. The plume of smoke could be seen from miles away. And thankfully, no injuries were reported.
When you say Lake Washington and Kenmore...
The town of Kenmore.
The town of Kenmore.
Yes.
Yeah.
In my world, that's still a slip in front of the Kenmore Air.
Oh, right.
That's Kenmore. That's the only Kenmore I'm aware of down there on a body of water.
The town.
So that's on Lake Union, Kenmore, the Kenmore Air slip you're talking
Well,
about.
how am I going to be not confused by that?
Still no word on what started that fire, but it does remain under investigation, and authorities say there's actually no environmental threats at this point.
I'm going to go with heat as my prime suspect.
Yeah.
I'm going to go with the cause of this thing. I'm going to go with heat. Something was hotter than it was supposed to be.
Interim Seattle Police Chief Carmen Best is back in the running for the city's top cop after one of the 3 finalists withdrew from the race. Over the weekend, Seattle Mayor Jenny Durkin announced former Pittsburgh Police Chief Cameron McLay has formally withdrawn his candidacy after conversations with the mayor on police reform. Durkin then said, "We need an additional candidate," and the assessors selected Carmen Best as the person to fill in.
All right.
So this has been her not being a finalist was controversial because she is
The interim chief, yeah.
the interim chief. So why wouldn't she be considered?
And then, of course, the immediately people threw out the race card that, hey, she has all the qualifications in the world. The only thing I can think of is you don't dig her because she's black. I cannot imagine. You know, I'm sure there's racists hiding in Seattle, but they're hiding. You know, you can't find yourself a good racist these days like you used to. You used to throw a stick, hit a racist. But now we're a better time. We're a better people. But I'm sure they're still out there. But I don't think they're, hey, let's not give a high-profile job to a black person and no one will still know we're here.
Right.
I think you're bound to get caught.
A lot of people wondering if Seattle's red-hot housing market is starting to cool down, and that's because for the first time in 10 years since the recession, the number of homes for sale in Seattle has increased considerably. The Seattle Times has done an analysis and says the fierce competition for low-inventory home sales, which has led to extreme bidding wars and lightning-fast sales, is starting to slow. The number of single-family homes on the market in King County has jumped up 43% from a year ago. Condo inventory, 73%. That's a lot.
Oh, nobody wants to buy a condo.
I do.
Well, okay. 30% of people want to buy a condo, but the other 73% apparently
Want a
don't.
single-parent home? I've had and currently have, too. I have
Yeah.
one in Hollywood that I can't sell.
Yeah.
It's breaking my heart.
That might be why nobody wants to buy one.
One of these days, I'm going to have to just bite the bullet, if you will, and sell it and just take what I can get.
Yeah.
But I think there's some upsides to condos. But in an environment like this, a single-family home.
That's good news for potential buyers.
Yes.
You might be able to get something at asking price instead of 20% over.
Yeah, and 20% is being nice.
Yeah,
A lot of
yeah.
people are paying a lot more than that, and 20% is already insane.
Right.
To pay 20% more, but they said
Especially
houses,
when you're dealing with $1 million house.
Exactly,
So that's
yeah.
an extra $200,000 you're tossing around.
Yeah, but if you are looking at the median price range for a house in Seattle, $500,000, that's not what you're paying. You're then going to pay $600,000, which is more than it's assessed for. They say it does appear to be slowing down. Homes already on the market are sitting unsold for longer periods of time.
That's weird because I don't see them sitting on the market at all.
Yeah.
By the time they're done pounding in that hammer to say for sale, they then stick a sold sign on the top. It's amazing.
I'm sure it's neighborhood dependent too. You're going to
It
see
is.
some areas slow down a lot quicker.
Sure, and Danny, I'm sure what you see a lot is Queen Anne.
Yes, I do.
So if you think of the rest of Seattle, there are a lot of places that it's always been slower and will start to get even more so. All right, Danny, you might not want to listen to this next story.
Yeah, what's it about?
You're going to be green with envy.
Oh, okay. I thought it was about bathroom problems. So I don't want to hear that.
Nope.
Thank goodness.
Nope.
Yeah, I'm glad we had this chat to not have this chat. It'd be gross.
A Starbucks worker in Tacoma is being credited for her quick thinking after she helped a woman deliver a baby outside the store. The woman says it seems like kind of a dream. She is a shift supervisor at a 24-hour Starbucks in Tacoma. She has worked there for 5 years. She said she's seen a lot, but this was the first time she delivered a baby. She was working.
That's remarkable.
Yeah.
That would be crazy if this was the third time she delivered a baby.
It's getting to be a habit around here.
So 1 o'clock in the morning, a man knocked on the window and said, there's a woman laying on the ground. She's about to have a baby. So the Starbucks worker, Rochelle, grabbed towels, ran outside the store. She said, the lady was laying there. I helped her. I got the towels. I got everything ready. I said, you need to take your pants off. She took her pants off, and then the baby came out.
Wow.
That is a step they leave out. They always say the towels, the boil, the water, but never take your pants off. By the way,
this is the biggest fear of single young men.
Yeah?
So you just take your pants off and boom, a baby will come out.
I saw the lady from Starbucks on the news, and she was really young. I was surprised that she knew what to do. But she said she kind of walked up, and the baby was kind of on the way already. So, she put some towels underneath her, and then boom, there was a baby.
Right. Well, I mean, the baby would have been all dirty. So she helped make sure that
baby
was
okay.
Okay.
That, sure.
So yeah, she didn't have to say push and you to do this and breathe or anything like that. But she did help catch the baby. She put some towels under her hips to help her. They said she actually broke store policy. But Starbucks...
The lady? They said you can't have a baby in here?
No, she didn't let the lady go in the bathroom. Now, everybody's allowed in the bathroom, whether they're having a baby right now or not.
Exactly.
She broke store policy by leaving while on shift.
Oh.
You're not supposed to leave the store, but Starbucks has said we are very proud of her. And even though she wasn't supposed to leave the store as a shift supervisor, they're not punishing her.
That's sweet of them.
Which would be insane. On to national and international news. A dive team has brought a seventh boy out of the cave in Thailand this morning.
Wow, it was 4 all day long while I was watching this, and now it's 7 have come out?
Yeah, so yesterday it was 4. They got 4 boys out yesterday, but had to stop for 20 hours in order to replenish the cave with oxygen. So they couldn't keep going back and forth because they didn't have enough tanks. So they have 18 different divers, and this rescue effort involves divers going out to a certain point, putting an extra tank, then going back, having to do it all again so that there's this big long line of oxygen for them.
Wow.
So 20 hours, they had to take a break. It resumed about 9 o'clock our time last night. And as of this morning, 7 boys. We got 5 left and a dude.
Yeah. The camp instructor or whatever.
Yeah. Are they worried because the boys are smaller, lighter, it's been easier for divers to take them out. Are they worried about the adult being the most difficult?
They should be, but on the flip side, the adult is likely a better diver.
Yeah,
he could learn how to.
He could swim. Some of the boys didn't know how to swim, so hopefully the coach can swim.
By the way, the only thing about that diving is that the pitch black of the water. You can't see anything. But people make a big deal out of diving. It's like, strap that thing to your face. Can you breathe? Yeah. Okay, let's go swimming. That's what it is to dive.
The other difference is this is caves, and some of the holes are tiny, and you've got to squeeze through them with an oxygen tank on, and you don't know how to swim.
Which didn't work out that well for an Army diver who
One
died.
of the Navy SEALs died.
Yeah.
Navy SEAL died.
Yeah, he ran out of oxygen, so that's why they're trying to...
That should not have happened, except there's no way for him maybe to see his equipment. Because you shouldn't die, ever, of running your air out. That should not happen. You should go, I'm going to run my air out soon. I better get up.
There's nowhere to go up.
Yeah, that occurred to me.
So this guy was, sadly, he was very accomplished as a Navy SEAL. He knew what he was doing. He was an expert diver, but...
Is he one of our Navy SEALs or one of their Navy SEAls?
It was a Thai Navy SEAL.
Yeah, God love them and everything, and they're doing everything, but you should send in our Navy SEAls.
Yeah, there are international divers helping, and some from the U.S. as well, but I don't know. I think the actual, rescuing of the boys has all been done by Thai divers.
It has to be. I mean, how would we look if we said, you know what? We got some divers stuck with their some kids and their coach. Let's get Vladimir Putin's special forces to. You can't. They got to do it.
It is amazing how quickly it's turned around, because 3-4 days ago they were saying, "No, we're just going to leave them in there for a few months until the rains die down, and then we'll go check on them, see how they are."
And everybody seems to be okay. These last 2 boys that they got out this morning, they haven't given much of an update, but everybody seems to be okay physically.
Cool.
I'm going to guess they'll never go in a cave again for the rest of their lives.
I don't see any reason to go in a cave ever anyway.
Right,
it's a cave.
A mother of 3 has died in England after she and her boyfriend were exposed to the same chemical that the Russian ex-spy and his daughter were exposed to.
Is this a new one?
This happened over the weekend.
People,
Yes. Same
Okay,
chemical.
wait. There was that couple that used to sleep with some in shelters every now and again.
The first case that I'm aware of was a father and daughter, and the father was an ex.
No, couple just happened.
Right. This one just happened. The
this
father and
story-
daughter
Is
was
that-
months ago.
What I'm asking is this the couple I was aware of when I left on vacation, or is there a new one?
This
She
is probably
has
the one
now
you were aware of.
died.
Yeah, that's
That
her.
just happened over the weekend. So, as Paul said, the original case was a month or two ago,
Yeah,
where
correct.
it was the ex-spy and his daughter.
Right.
Then another couple, and to my knowledge, these are not homeless people. This is a mother of 3, and she died last night in the hospital. He is in critical condition. So they fell ill last weekend. This weekend, she has died.
Wow.
So they were exposed to the same nerve agent after touching a contaminated item with their hands. They're trying to figure out what the heck they touched and why hadn't they cleared all of the contaminated items.
Yeah,
out of
it's
this
all
area.
super weird.
Yeah.
It is all super weird. I was watching a thing on a terrorist, and they were making weapons of mass destruction. And he got to this poison. They was going to rub it on the door handles of really expensive cars as a strike to the rich.
Yeah.
Do you know what the poison was? It was a derivative of nicotine, and it killed
wow.
you within a day or two if you touched it.
Wow.
Isn't that bizarre?
That's crazy.
Yeah, I didn't use the word boil it down, but you shrink it down to its
Yeah.
most, and it's a really strong. And I have seen it on one of my ID channels where a guy tried to kill his wife by nicotine poisoning. It didn't work though.
Worked on X-Files.
Did it work on X Files?
They killed a whole lot of people with nicotine.
Well, that's true enough.
Right. That's worked for others.
A man was gored, 3 others hospitalized after being trampled in the first running of the bulls at this year's San Fermin Festival. They were hospitalized on Saturday. Among those receiving treatment was a 20-year-old Canadian man. The rest were Spanish. A 38-year-old was gored, and a 40-year-old also sustained some serious traumatic injuries. They said there had been rain, so those cobblestone streets that can be really slippery made it even more dangerous than normal.
Well, also though, they're gonna get you in the end, sometimes literally.
Yeah.
But the traction for the bulls is also terrible. You see them start sliding out and wiping out left and right. You throw
Yeah.
water on those cobblestone streets because they've got those hard hooves. That's why you never see a guy, unless, dig this, you see a guy like in a movie or a commercial galloping his horse down the sidewalk or down the street.
Yeah.
Rubber shoes.
Oh, really?
Yeah, isn't that weird?
Yeah. Is it only 4 people hospitalized because there's a bunch of people treated on the scene? It seems like you'd have a lot more people medical attention after.
Yeah,
that.
they said tons of runners were trampled early on.
Yeah.
12 animals were the only ones who entered, and yet lots of people got injured. So some of them, you get injured.
12 people were the only ones who entered?
12 bulls.
bulls. So
Doesn't seem
hundreds
like
of
enough.
people.
I've seen it on TV. You got to
That's
have
plenty
a
chasing me.
You got to have a bunch of crazy bulls chasing me.
Yeah.
12. It's got to be 300.
I don't think 300 sounds a little even more dangerous than it actually needs to be.
Well, yeah.
300 bulls.
I don't know, but a bunch of bulls, Paul.
Like 12 seems fine.
I don't think so.
So as we talked about a little bit earlier, I was in Canada last week. I do have pictures up at KZOK.com.
It looked exactly like what I think Canada is past Vancouver. Right? Like, so I've been to Vancouver, and then I looked, and there's just like polar bears and ice, and I was like, yeah, that's exactly what the rest of Canada is.
There was no ice. I did not see any ice. The ice had melted, and that's how the polar bears get to land.
Yeah.
You know what? I wasn't there. He wasn't there. I'm with Paul.
Yeah.
There was
Yeah,
ice.
yeah.
Of course there was ice.
I mean, they got to build the igloos out of something.
Right.
They said they're part of the bay, Hudson Bay, is still under ice.
Yeah, that's
but
what I
that's that's how it works. Is the polar bears come down from the Arctic on the ice, and then it melts, and they swim. And apparently, polar bears can swim like for hours and days, and they dog paddle, which is weird because they're bears.
I think they bear paddle. Technically.
But I went to Winnipeg. That's where I had to connect, and it turns out people in Winnipeg love Slurpees. So much so that over the weekend, they are changing the name of one of their streets to Slurpee Way.
Oh.
They have the title of being the Slurpee capital of the world.
Really?
And the
No! Fake news.
When you said the people of Winnipeg love Slurpees, I thought, well, everyone loves Slurpees, but I've never named a road after
I'm
them.
pretty
Yep.
sure people in Winnipeg love strippers. If
Yeah.
I remember. Is that the other one?
That's the other one. You're thinking of Windsor.
Windsor.
Yeah. Winnipeg is much further north.
Because when you lose all your money to a hooker, then you call it loser, and everybody laughs.
No, Winnipeg is going to be renaming their street on Wednesday to Slurpee Way. And this is to help honor the 91st birthday of 7-Eleven, which happens on July 11th. Happy birthday, 7-Eleven.
Was it founded in Winnipeg or Canada? No.
They're so weird.
I think that there is a chance that Slurpees are older than sliced bread.
Oh,
Yeah.
they might be.
Unbelievable.
Possible.
How's that? No, 7-Eleven is older than sliced bread? How's that possible?
My mom's older than 7-Eleven.
She is.
Yeah.
How's that
I
possible?
don't think my mom's older than Betty White.
No, Betty White's got to be pushing 95 at this point.
Well, she's not pushing real hard. She's 95. They don't give the woman a stroke.
1928, sliced bread invented.
Right.
Okay. Somebody do the math.
Okay. It's older than sliced bread.
Yeah.
There, I did that.
It
math.
is older than
Holy
sliced bread.
smokes.
Right.
1922, Betty White was born.
That's amazing.
She is 96 years young.
96?
Yeah.
That's incredible.
I'd still. Never mind.
Don't go there.
It's the least I could do for the old girl.
Oh.
A California couple
Yeah.
remodeling their bathroom made an unusual discovery. A message left from the previous residents during their 1995 remodel. Alex and Jessica said the contractor was working on the bathroom and said, "There's a message in here." There was a message along with a photo of the couple and their pet bunny. It said, "Hi, we're the Shinsekis. We remodeled this bathroom in 1995. If you're reading this, that means you're remodeling the bathroom again. What's wrong with the way we did it?"
I like it.
Just to prove we're total weirdos, here's a picture of us with our pet
With
bunny.
a bunny.
Yes. And it says, "Hi, I'm Cassie the bunny rabbit. I live here too, and I'm potty trained. I'm going to be the next Cadbury bunny."
Wow.
You
It
know,
talks.
they're trying. I don't know what they're trying. I think it's kind of weird.
Yeah.
But yeah, I can live with that they're trying to be funny. And we did this thing. We redecorated last year. Now it's your turn. I think it's kind of cute. But I would kill and eat their bunny. Just
Well, I don't think it's there anymore.
Well, she said it was here and it's bunny trained.
Well, you do like to eat some weird food, Danny.
I do. I had too much weird food in Paris.
Yeah, like foie gras.
Every meal. Sometimes 2 times a day.
Wow.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Oh, geez. Frog's legs?
No, I did not have frog legs. That's so weird. But I had escargot like crazy.
Oh, that's my
Nice.
favorite. Well, I know you like to eat your foie gras. You like to eat some weird stuff. You want to eat guinea pig.
I do.
You do like liver and guts.
Yeah.
In Brazil, did you know it is not uncommon to eat armadillo, which reportedly tastes like chicken? Well, maybe you're going to put that on your list. I advise you not to. Turns out eating armadillo can give you leprosy.
I knew it.
You did? I had no idea.
Turns out 62% of 9-banded armadillos that are in Brazil have exposure to bacterium that causes leprosy known as Hansen's disease.
Bop.
Hansen's
Baby,
disease.
my skin flops. Beep, bop, dee doo.
Turns out people eat 9-banded armadillo meat in huge numbers.
Are you saying 9-banded?
Yes.
Okay.
But there's only 62% of the 9 armadillos. That's like 5.5 armadillos. Just eat the other armadillos. Why would you eat the ones with leprosy?
Oh, I didn't even point it out. Okay, yeah. Don't eat the one with leprosy.
Well, they
Paul
don't-
said so, and he's right.
They don't wear name tags that say, "Hi, my name is Army. I have."
No.
Apparently, they also
leprosy."
don't wear condoms. filthy armadillos.
65% of people in that part of Brazil eat armadillos at least once a year.
Wow.
And they're all going to get Hansen bop leprosy.
They come like in their own serving bowl, which I like. Just chop them up, eat them, and then pour them back into that shell.
Yeah, right.
It's like a living conch shell. Although conch shells are like living conch shells.
It's time for today's Things Are Not Right in Florida Story of the Day.
Yay!
If you've got 4 times the legal limit of booze in your system and a big cup of liquor, you probably shouldn't talk back to police or suggest that they search your vehicle.
But I bet you will.
Oh,
You know
yes.
what? I don't know what it is. I've done it more than once. Yeah. Oh, yeah, no. You can search my car. I know. See, you need a warrant, but
Yeah.
you go ahead. When you don't find it, I'm going to sue you.
Right.
Oh, what's that bag of powder? That's not even my car.
Tremaine McGriff, 32 years old, was playing really loud music. Police arrived at the scene and could hear the music being blasted from his four-door Mercury. They said, pull over and stop, like he was driving super slow. They said, pull over. So he did. And they said, spell your name because we can't understand the words that are coming out of your mouth. He spelled his name wrong, which is kind of crazy because you should be able to spell your own name right. He wrote Tremario, but his name is Tremaine. He smelled a booze. He said, I don't have any booze. I'm not drunk. You search my vehicle right now. And that's when they found a big gulp cup full of alcohol, half consumed. He blew a .33.
That's really drunk.
Yes.
That's, hey, you can go ahead and search my car drunk.
Yep. Oh, Florida.
Oh, Florida.
Don't do that. Hey, we need to take a quick break. We've got music news, entertainment, and sports. A pop superstar got engaged over the weekend, and this was a big surprise. A strange update to last year's passing of David Cassidy. I'll tell you the latest about that.
Wow.
And you can win a pair of Mariners tickets from KZOK next at Sports. Starting with music news, Bruce Springsteen fans likely spent the weekend digesting his legendary 1978 performance at the Roxy. The entire set, 4 hours, was newly mixed and remastered and was made available on Saturday. And that was for the 40th anniversary of that concert. Now, it sold out. He played the Forum and then decided, I'm going to play a small show too. And this was 500 people seeing Bruce Springsteen, 1978.
I'd guess 300 max, but okay, 500 people just packed in there. Wild.
Packed in there. It was broadcast live on a radio station, KMET, and a lot of people recorded it and have circulated it. Obviously, that didn't sound super great. So
Just like bootleg cassettes?
Yep. So they decided to remaster it. And over the weekend, it came out. Now, during this performance, he did Buddy Holly's Rave On, Elvis Presley's Heartbreak Hotel, the complete version of Backstreets, containing the Sad Eyes interlude, and obviously a lot more because it was 4 hours.
Yeah, it was 4 hours?
4 hours.
That's a lot of Bruce.
Justin Bieber did something unexpected over the weekend.
Grew a pair?
He popped the question to Hailey Baldwin. Now, they've been friends for a long time. She's the daughter of Stephen Baldwin and his wife.
Don't marry the daughter of the ugly Baldwin. Are you kidding?
She's pretty gorgeous.
Right, but think about what's going to happen to your kids.
It potentially could look like him.
Yeah.
No.
Well, her mom is a Brazilian graphic designer who's really beautiful. So there's clearly some good genes going on there because the other Baldwins are very good looking. But Justin Bieber and Hailey have been dating for like 2 minutes, and they got engaged over the weekend.
Tell them not to do it.
Don't do it.
Don't do it, Justin.
All right, thank you. And her, too.
Yeah.
Don't anybody do this. Stop doing this. You're stupid and you're young and you don't know anything.
Yeah, I guess they've known each other for a really long time, but he has been on again, off again with Selena Gomez for forever.
Yeah.
Yeah, but once you lose a kidney or get a new one, whatever it is, I don't know if I could date somebody that had a new kidney.
Really?
Why?
I don't know. I'd want to know whose it was, where it came from, what damage has been done to it.
It was her best friend's, so she does
They
know.
say that.
You think it was black market?
I totally do.
Yeah.
So I think Hailey Baldwin is really young. Like
She's 21. He's 24.
kids.
Yeah,
Yeah,
kids
kids.
today. You know them. They have $200 million. Kids.
True.
David Cassidy.
Yeah.
We are finding out what will be happening to him. Strangely enough, he was cremated following his death back in November, but they hadn't done anything with his ashes until now. His girlfriend, which I'm pretty sure was actually his ex-girlfriend, her name was Mara Rossi,
Yeah.
says that she has been shunned by David Cassidy's surviving relatives since his death, and she thinks it is disrespectful that his ashes are still in storage.
Well, I got to tell you this. I don't know the examples or what's happening with his ashes or anything. But I'll tell you this. The Cassidys are a secretive bunch of folks, man.
Yeah.
I had no idea because I was really close to David. I knew the other kids most of their lives, but I've seen them 5 times. So just because I've known you, you're 50, and I've known you since you were 7, doesn't make us besties or anything like that. But I do know your life is good. Then I start hearing all these I'll tell you where those ashes are going to go, but there's only one spokesman for the Cassidys. It's like, calm down. I'll do it. I'll take those ashes. I'll be fine with them. I won't do anything weird to them.
Well, he had asked for something specific to be done with his ashes, as many people do.
Yeah, I do.
And for David Cassidy, it was to have his ashes spread at the Saratoga race course in Saratoga Springs.
Makes sense. I'm for
Horse
him.
track?
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. So he was a huge fan of horse racing. He wants his ashes spread around the 150-year-old racetrack, which he frequented for more than 3 decades. And reportedly, the family was going to do this. They're just wondering, the ex-girlfriend's wondering, why haven't you done this yet? It's July. And they said,
well, it's not like he's going to spoil. It's July. You better do something about David's ashes. They'll be all right.
So he was honored by the National Museum of Racing, the Hall of Fame, and they said that they're planning on honoring David Cassidy with a memorial race on August 18th.
Oh, do it then.
So maybe that's when the family,
have the jockey do it.
Yeah.
While running.
Well, the jockey sits still, though.
Yeah, no, but he's got his arms, he can. I see. The jockey's not running. The horse is running, and the jockey will be throwing ashes out.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
I don't want to be behind him.
You think about what comes out of a horse. I don't want to be behind any of it.
I was out at the races.
For God's sakes, I got a little Cassidy stuck right near my teeth.
No.
I was out at the races yesterday at Edinburgh Downs. It was an awesome day out, but there was a little bit of a breeze. I can't imagine if somebody had scattered ashes and they just went into the stands. That wouldn't be fun.
No. What were you doing at the races? Just a fun day out with the family?
Yeah, we went out. It was Wiener Dogs yesterday. The Wiener Dog races.
Yeah.
So after every other race, there was a heat of Wiener Dog races and Wiener Dog wannabes. Basically, any dog that's small enough to fit in the same box that the Wiener Dogs can, little starting gates.
Yeah.
I think we're going to enter our Chihuahua next year.
Really?
Yeah, it looks it's really fun, and I think our dog could do it. He's kind of crazy.
Do you like your dog?
No, not particularly.
Okay, cool. Then do it.
Now, do any of the dogs not actually make it around the race course?
Most of them actually don't. So it's not even that. It's a 40-yard dash. They're just going in a straight line. But most of them get out of the starting gate and turn around and run the opposite way for whatever reason.
Because they're stupid dogs. That's why.
They're chasing each other. And I would imagine, there's a lot of people watching. It's a distraction for them, even if they've practiced at home. But I had a terrible time picking the horses yesterday. I picked all the wrong horses, but I picked the right dog. He won the championship. So.
And did you win money?
No, they don't let you bet on the dogs. Why don't they let you bet on the dogs?
They should totally let you bet on the dogs.
I actually think dog racing might be illegal in Washington, so that might be why you can't bet on them.
You are correct.
Yeah, but they can still race them. But
you just can't bet on them.
Yeah.
How much fun is that?
And it was still fun to watch.
Right on. In entertainment news, Idris Elba is in final negotiations to play the main villain in Hobbs and Shaw, which is the spin-off from The Fast and Furious, starring The Rock and Jason Statham. Now, for people who watch these Fast and Furious movies, now just the Fast movies, apparently those are the two favorite characters.
That's the character's name, Hobbs and Shaw?
Yeah.
Hobbs is The Rock, and Shaw is Jason Statham.
Okay, I'm a few behind on that series.
Well, spoiler
I only
alert.
watched like 9 of them.
Yeah, I've never seen one. But they said Idris Elba will play the villain, and The Rock and Jason Statham getting their own spin-off of this franchise, which has done okay,
Yeah.
12 movies and $8 billion or something.
That's crazy, but yeah. And their name in the titles, that almost never happens.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, that doesn't happen.
So let's see. We are getting this in July of next year. I had to think which year this was. Yeah, 2019.
What's up with The Rock? He's doing crap movies.
And making
He's
tons
making
of money doing
though.
it.
But I mean, he doesn't, at this point, I don't think you have to go for the money.
True.
There's one called Sky Tower or High Rise.
It'll be a blockbuster.
It
and
will be a
looks so
huge
dumb.
blockbuster, but it's, it's a movie I've seen 20 times before.
Yeah.
The Rock.
It looks so bad, and I'm sure it will be huge. Speaking of movies that are huge, Top Gun over the weekend, Val Kilmer made it official, announcing he is joining the sequel to Top Gun.
Oh, is he going to play Goose? Because he looks like he's dead.
Well, believe
Spoiler
it or
alert,
not, that's really mean, Paul.
Yeah, Paul, that's what I mean.
Sorry.
They said that Val
insult
Kilmer,
you.
because of his health condition, has difficulty speaking.
Yeah.
So we're not really sure how he's going to act in this movie.
Tori saw him. He came to town to give a talk, and then he didn't talk
I
because he
did.
can't talk.
His voice has gotten a little better, but it does not sound like Val Kilmer.
What the hell happened to him?
I think he might have had maybe throat cancer.
Yeah, that's what people
yeah.
think. He says he doesn't have it. But
What is a
For that?
Because we all know how he got it, right?
Yes.
All right, that's why then, Sarah.
Tori, could he speak, or was his voice just different, or could he not actually speak well?
He could kind of mumble, but he drooled every time he talked. That's not funny.
Wow, Derek.
Derek was highly
What a
entertained by
terrible
that.
person you are.
It was unexpected. I'm sorry.
Well, we're not sure if his health and drooling has
With
improved.
his throat that is bad. He's a quote from him, actually. It was worth it.
We recently found out Miles Teller, that actor, will be playing the son of Goose, and that he'll be one of the main characters.
I like that guy.
Miles Teller, good
Oh,
actor.
yeah.
Whiplash, was his,
Yeah, it was great.
one of his real big movies?
And what's his face? The insurance salesman
J.K.
won an Academy
Simmons?
Award.
Yeah.
And that's what the host said. That guy just won an Academy Award.
Let's take a look at sports. Sports brought to you by Bradley Johnson Attorneys. If you're facing a DUI, call 1-800-DUI-AWAY. That's 1-800-DUI-AWAY. Friday, the Rockies beat the Mariners. Saturday, the Rockies beat the Mariners. But yesterday, redemption. Ryan Healy, 5 RBI, and the Mariners beat the Rockies 6-4.
Nice.
Beautiful day at the ballpark. If you were there, you can probably tell us what song played during KZOK Mariners music trivia, because the song lights up the stadium, right?
Yeah.
Well, if you remember the song from yesterday's game, you need to start calling right now, 800-252-1025. The first person to tell us the song from yesterday's game wins tickets to what, Derek?
Tickets for the game on July 20th at 7:10 versus the Chicago White Sox, which just happens to be Pearl Jam Fireworks Night.
Pearl Jam Fireworks Night.
All right, call right now, 800-252-1025. The first person to tell us wins tickets to that game, which everyone says, by the way, that Pearl Jam Fireworks Night is super fun.
Oh, yeah.
Like, it's a great night at the ballpark. Well, the Mariners off today, but tomorrow the Angels come to town. Oh, no, we go to the Angels. 7:07 start time, Mike Leake and Garrett Richards. Over the weekend, a baseball player you probably don't hear people talk about much made big news. His name is Mark Reynolds, plays for the Washington Nationals. He is a pretty inconsistent baseball player, has some good seasons, some bad seasons, good games, bad games. But on Saturday, he had a spectacular game. 10 RBI.
Nice.
Wow.
10 RBI.
Yeah.
That's basically unheard of. Now, Danny, I know you don't pay attention to baseball, the plate.
Yeah, more than most teams do in a game.
Yes,
Well said.
Twice than more than most teams do in a game.
correct. He had a beast of a game, and everyone's like, what just happened here? You know, he was just spectacular. Only the 15th player to do that. We've been playing baseball for over 100 years.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
pretty spectacular. So Mark Reynolds, after his 10 RBI performance on Saturday, was called upon to pitch on Sunday.
Is he a pitcher?
He is not a pitcher.
Oh.
He is somebody who apparently can throw okay. They needed somebody to pitch. They had started to run out of pitchers. They said, Mark Reynolds, you had 10 RBI yesterday. How about you take the ball to the mound?
Yeah, extra innings game. They just run through their bullpen too quick.
Yep, and he just needed to get one dude out, which he did.
Yay.
Nice.
He now has a perfect ERA of 0.
Good.
Yesterday, the Storm defeated the Washington Mystics 97-91. Tomorrow, the Storm play the Sparks at noon. Over the weekend, the Sounders played the New England Revolution that ended in a tie. Up next for them, Atlanta United with a match on Sunday at 11. World Cup action over the weekend. It's super exciting because Croatia defeated Russia in penalty kicks. They said viewership was sky high.
Right.
One of the best viewerships in World Cup history. But the home team, Russia, lost to Croatia. England defeated Sweden 2-0. The semis begin tomorrow at 11. France versus Belgium.
Yeah, sadly for Danny, Spain got knocked out.
Spain.
Yeah.
I couldn't believe it. I was actually watching this happen to me in France.
So now Germany's out, and Spain's out, and Belgium's still in it. They knocked off the favorites, Brazil, to move on to the semis.
So are you the only one, Paul, who still
I'm the
has a
only
team
one
in?
left, but to win the $50 trillion, do they actually have to win the World Cup,
Well,
or is it just
yes,
because?
of course.
Okay. All right, I still have faith in them. France is going to be their toughest opponent that they've faced. I mean,
Yeah.
Brazil was pretty tough, but they beat them.
Now, Danny, you watched a match in France, like it just was on everywhere. Was it exciting? Because people there must have been stoked
Yeah,
about it.
I could not figure out what was happening. Amy and I just sitting around in not a coffee shop, but actually a decent restaurant right on the street. You know, those kind with the seats
cafe.
facing out.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, just a roar so loud, it was a little bit frightening. Is something bad happening? That's too crazy loud. And I realized, I'll bet France is not only in, but winning.
Yeah.
And that's what was happening.
Neat.
It was on in restaurants all over the city.
Oh, I bet. That's fun. Today is Monday.
I know what that means.
Yeah.
It's Manic Monday.
Oh, manic. I still don't know what that means.
Well, first you got to get one Manic Monday,
Yeah.
and then you get another.
I've heard
Manic
that.
Monday.
Yeah.
It's just another Manic
Yeah.
Monday. Manic Monday is the day after Sunday at Wimbledon. They do not play on this Sunday of Wimbledon, so today everybody plays. Roger Federer, Rafael Nadal, Serena Williams, all playing. It's a huge day at Wimbledon, and it's just something that's been called Manic Monday since the Bengals.
Is this the song that was written about the murder?
No, that's I Don't Like Mondays.
I Don't Like Boomtown Rats.
Boomtown Rats.
All right.
But
Could be
I'm
a
willing to bet they don't like Mondays either.
Nobody really likes Mondays,
No.
but you don't have to be an axe murderer over it.
No, I mean, that's taking it to a whole
Right.
new level, isn't it? And sports this morning brought to you by Bradley Johnson Attorneys. If you're facing a DUI, call 1-800-DUI-OA. That's 1-800-DUI-OA.
I'll tell you about 1-800-DUI-OA. If you get a DUI, call that number right away, my friends. Very serious laws in the state of Washington. You're going to lose your license most likely. Certainly, if you don't have a lawyer, you will. You could even be incarcerated over this, my friends. So 1-800-DUI-OA will meet their clients in Seattle, Everett, or Tacoma, free of charge. So if the unfortunate happens to you and you get a DUI, don't delay. Call 1-800-DUI-OA. That's 1-800-DUI-OA.
All right, don't go anywhere. We have a lot of show coming up, including at 7:20, a pair of tickets for you to see Paul Rogers September 29th at the EQC.
All right, it's Monday. It means a new game at the hands of Paul. And this one is called Paul Roger or Paul Rogers. Yeah, it makes perfect sense. If you win that game at 7:20 this morning, you're going to pick up a pair of tickets to see Paul Rogers, and that'll be happening in the EQC.
Nice. Danny, you were just telling us that you went to France and
I
ate
did.
all sorts of spectacular things.
I took great things and then smeared them with greater things.
That's awesome.
I took it. This snail, it looks nice to me, but it would look nice if I just took a tablespoon of foie gras and just drenched it and then ate that.
Our cat whisperer, the woman who looks
Yeah.
after our cats,
Chastity.
she just posted to Facebook that they went to a place called Hama Hama Oysters, and I looked it up. And what's the name of that town, Paul? I said Killa.
I forget, but it was a town. I tried to see the population.
Little
and it's-
Wop.
Yeah.
Yes.
Lillywop.
Lillywop.
I tried to find the population of the town, and it said approximately 30 families. Like they don't bother to count the individual people. They're just like,
But I bet it's
there's about 30
I
houses.
bet it's a beautiful place. My
Yeah, probably.
sister-in-law, when she was just my sister, I don't know. Anyway, she got married in Palo Alto, literally at an oyster farm, and they just kept bringing them up out of the ocean. It was amazing.
Yeah.
That's what this place looks like, and I want to go there. And Mark and Chastity are just eating plates and plates full of oysters, and it looks like such a great day out.
Yum.
How much does she charge to watch a cat? She'd do it in Oyster Bay.
Yeah.
Well, it's funny. I was watching an Andrew Zimmern episode, and he was in San Francisco eating oysters and said, I could not be with someone who did not eat oysters. As in be married to somebody, date somebody, be friends with somebody who didn't eat oysters.
I don't know if I'd feel that strongly about it, but I don't think I'd get in a relationship with somebody who hadn't tried them. Giving you my best shot.
Yeah,
Hey,
sure.
I'm your boyfriend material over here. There's a chance you're gonna be my girlfriend material over here. You know what I love? I love these slurpy, gooey things, and you need to do at the very least this. They're gross, but I love you so much. You can do that for me, and you don't have to eat them for the rest of your life.
Yeah, I mean, it is kind of a gross concept. Oysters are a little funky, but
it's a shell full of snot. Who are you kidding?
but they're so delicious.
Snot can be yummy.
You have said, Danny, that you couldn't be with someone who didn't eat meat.
No, I couldn't. I also wouldn't take them seriously. No offense. I would never take anybody who made the conscious call for any other reason than they had like an impacted colon or something. All
Yeah,
right.
serious
But then,
health
if
issue.
you're my new girlfriend and you're whining about your colon already, we're too close. For God's sakes. But yeah, somebody that didn't eat meat, I couldn't take them seriously.
Right. I mean, I couldn't be with someone who didn't have a passport.
Good one.
I mean, I just wouldn't trust
Hadn't
them.
ever done traveling, had
Yeah.
no plans to travel.
Yes,
Yeah.
because that's really what it's an indicator of. They have no plans to travel.
Right. Yeah.
What's wrong with you? You don't want to experience something?
No, and you know what some people say, which just drives me crazy, is why would I don't know why everybody that disagrees with me has a southern accent. Why do I need a passport to go anywhere? We got everything right here in America. America's the best. Why do I even need to live in America? And you have to think about that for a second because we do have some of the best stuff. For every Rome or Paris, we do have New York City.
Sure.
For every bowl full of goo, we have Los Angeles. I couldn't really think of another thing, but we have a lot of stuff. But it won't do. It's not the same.
It's not the same.
You need. There's at least 10 cities in the world you need to go to, and the rest you should.
Yeah. Well, fill in the blank, Danny. I couldn't be with someone who what?
Smokes.
Oh,
Could
yeah.
not be with anybody who smokes. Not a chance in the world.
And you smoked for a long time.
Yeah, and I'm not one of those guys where I smell cigarettes on the street and I get all indignant or anything like that.
Yeah.
I smoked forever. I was the guy. I got kicked out of Disneyland twice for smoking. Same day. But
Okay.
yeah, I think they thought I was taunting them.
The second time you might have got kicked out for going back in after you were kicked out.
Could have been a distinct possibility on all of those things. But yeah, anybody who smokes, I couldn't just that it's an ashtray in your mouth. It's gross, man.
It's weird. I feel as a former smoker, I feel weird saying it, but I'm the same way. I could be with somebody who smokes.
When I first met Amy, I was a 3-pack-a-day smoker, and I would go up on her roof of the apartment building she lived in. I would come down. I would brush my teeth with the toothbrush I left there. Then also gargle with Scope, and I still felt dirty and gross and horrible.
Yeah.
Well, you guys listening, fill in the blank. I couldn't be with someone who what? Andrew Zimmern says couldn't be with someone who doesn't eat oysters. What do you think? Call us right now, 800-252-1025 or text 90627 now.
Andrew Zimmern says that he couldn't have a partner who doesn't eat oysters. And I'm thinking, hey, man, you're a pudgy, bald food critic. How picky can you be? But apparently, he gets to be picky. He would never eat. So I'm going to say, fill in the blank. I could never be with someone who blank. 1-800-252-1025 or text 90627.
We'll start with Richard in Seattle this morning.
Hey, Richard.
Good morning. I was dating a gal, and I met her family, and then one of her brothers looked exactly like her, but they weren't twins or nothing, so that kind of turned me off. It was just kind of
So
creepy.
what you're saying to us is I could never date anybody who looked exactly like their brother.
Yeah, if it was a gal.
That's a pretty decent call.
No, that's
yeah.
I'm fine with that, man. I don't think you have any problems with us.
Like her brother, my brother. Really, if
Yeah.
she looks anything like anybody's brother. I'm
Yeah.
out.
Especially that mustache. It just wasn't working for Richard. Drama in Renton, fill in the blank. You couldn't be with someone who what?
Hey, good morning, y'all.
Morning.
I couldn't be with someone who is an anti-gun person.
Well, what do you consider an anti-gun person? I think these assault rifles are completely out of place. What are they doing in today's society? But I'm all for handguns. I want a handgun just because I'm in a small room with Paul. I think I deserve protection.
A lot of people don't believe in any of them, though.
Yeah, no, I realize that's what I'm saying. I don't know that I am not a gun guy at all. But if you are completely against anybody's right to have one, I don't know that I could go out with you.
Yeah.
It'd
Drama,
be
how
wrong
many-
to shoot you.
Drama, how many guns do you have?
I have a few.
most people will not answer that question.
A few.
Andrew and Kent texted in. He takes it even one step further. He says, I could not be with somebody who won't carry a gun legally. Personal defense and defense of the defenseless is something he advocates for.
Wow.
And if you won't carry on your person, he doesn't want to have anything to do with you.
That's an extreme.
That is an extreme.
Yeah,
and
it's a
I
lot to
find,
ask.
what's his name again?
Andrew and Kent.
Andrew and Kent is a lunatic.
Yeah.
Yeah. What do that, Andrew?
800-252-1025. Fill in the blank. I couldn't be with someone who blank.
Was named Andrew.
We love Andrew. Andrew
do.
texts us almost every day.
All right, and you stick to your guns. Andrew, I love you.
Call us right now and fill in the blank. I couldn't be with someone who blank. Rob in Louisville, good morning.
Hey, Rob.
Welcome back, guys.
What's up, buddy?
You.
I absolutely could not be with a woman that spits in public. That's just the nastiest thing I've ever seen.
Well, I've
I
learned
see
to
it.
tolerate it in private, but, what are you going to do?
I
But
do see it.
I think he's right.
It's pretty gross.
It is. I say stuff.
Well, I mean, unless you really need to, but I've seen people who just do it.
Yeah, me too.
And
they
pretty
do the
gross.
whole hawker thing. They
Oh, that
get
sound
all
is
that going up,
disgusting.
and then we have to discuss whether or not we're going to eat oysters, and then life's gross.
Ew.
Edwina in Auburn texted in to 90627. She says she couldn't be with somebody who wasn't close to their family. I get that.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you meet somebody and you're like, oh, do you have brothers, sisters? Yeah, but I don't talk to them. Parents, I don't talk to them.
Yeah.
See, I don't feel. I'm not of the mind that you have to treat somebody that because that person is related to you, they have to absorb their sins, if you will. My family, they're okay, but if they cross me 2 more times, they're out of the will. That's all there is to
You shaved
it.
your head to support your sister
Right.
who is going through chemotherapy.
What
She
do
did
you-
that to bother me. I was sitting there minding my own business. Then I get a phone call, chemo, hair fell out.
You're close to your family.
I am close to my family. It just says more about me than, because they're lunatics.
A lot of people also texting in saying they couldn't be with somebody who's polar opposite when it comes to politics.
Okay.
So if they're diehard Republican, they couldn't be with somebody who's diehard Democrat, vice versa.
Yep.
Yeah, I can see it. I'd like to say I don't care that much, to each their own, but I can see it. If you're a lunatic and you're just wasting your vote, then I can see that. And okay, let's say it. Somebody's got to say it. I could never take a Trump supporter seriously.
Yeah.
There's no way.
I couldn't be with someone who is a Yankee fan.
Oh, right. Yeah.
You mean people that live above the Mason-Dixon line?
Baseball team.
New York Yankees.
Oh, yeah.
I could not be with someone who's a Yankee fan.
Oh, here's a great text into 90627. I couldn't be with a guy who has lady hands. I've broken up with 2 guys who had lady hands just because it weirded me out.
I
Guys
know
with
what
small
she's talking
hands?
about.
Yeah?
Small hands and small soft hands.
Oh, yeah.
Ooh, creepy.
I'm not even sure. My hands, I'm thinking because I have small hands, I guess, because they're attached to a small body.
Yeah,
but then they're all covered up in scars. So I'm off
you
the
got
lady.
manly hands.
I got
then.
manly hands.
You're a manly man, Danny.
I am.
Let's talk to our friend Denisha in North Bend.
Hey, Denisha.
Hello.
Hey.
Hi.
Hey. I said, well, I don't think I know I couldn't be with somebody who is an atheist. I just couldn't do that one.
How about an agnostic?
Man, rather, I have honestly, I'm married to kind of an agnostic Catholic. There you go.
So he's Catholic but lapsed and doesn't know if he
And
believes.
is fully aware that he'll be burning in hell now, because that's what happens to atheist Catholics. You don't get just to go around and shun God, ladies and gentlemen of the jury.
Yeah, they're pretty strict in their interpretation.
But,
I always get confused between agnostic and atheist, which is the one that believes in nothing.
I say
Atheist.
you're, what the hell do I say?
Agnostic.
Yes, an agnostic.
Because I believe that something's out there.
No, you
just
don't
don't know.
believe, you just don't know.
know. Yeah.
And that's reasonable to me.
Okay.
I mean, I'm 50% I don't know. I'm just too chicken, so I'll say, no, there's for sure God, and he loves me.
So I can be with Denisha.
Do
Yeah.
you believe there's something out there, or you not just go, I don't know, maybe there's something out there, maybe there's not?
I'd like to think there's something out there.
I'd like to as well.
Be kind of nice, but I like Buddhism. That
I like Buddhism a whole lot, and I even asked a Buddhist one time. I said, I'm Christian, and I'm a fan of my God, and I think he would get mad at me if I decided to be a Buddhist. Now, can you be a Christian Buddhist? He said, absolutely. Don't sweat it.
I like that.
Yeah.
Our friend Yo in Olympia says she could never be with somebody who listens to country music. Danny, you and I are both out.
Wow.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
And I pretty much was sure I had a shot at Yo.
Yeah, me too.
You couldn't be with someone who what? Fill in the blank. Tyler in Seattle.
Hey, Tyler.
Hey, how's it going?
It's all good, man.
I couldn't be with someone who doesn't like the movie Caddyshack.
Boy, it's a polarizing thing, man, because I want to hate it because it's stupid. Everybody in it is stupid. Everything about it is stupid. And then it makes me laugh from beginning to end. I
Yeah.
know the dialogue from it and everything like that. When the Butterfinger or whatever it was is floating around in the pool and everybody thinks it's a number 2. Come on, that's comedy.
I couldn't be with someone who didn't like Super Troopers. I mean, write me out. I'm going to break up with you, Danny.
But I haven't seen it.
Yeah, that doesn't count.
That doesn't count. I haven't seen it.
Okay.
Although you do hate it without seeing it.
I do hate it without seeing it.
Yeah, so write me out. I'm breaking up with you.
Yeah, it's a bummer.
Paul, you couldn't be with someone who what?
Who doesn't like animals? I love animals. I have so many pets and livestock. Even the animals I'm going to eat. I love the animals. So if you don't love animals, you don't like being around animals, I couldn't be with you.
I don't trust those people.
Yeah, if you don't like at least want to have a dog.
Right, there's something serious around here. Okay, I can't be with anybody who orders a steak well done.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, you suck.
With a little ketchup.
Yeah, what are you, crazy?
Tori, fill in the blank. I couldn't be with someone who
Doesn't have a car and doesn't pick you up on the first date.
fair enough.
I get really angry. Or lives with their parents. That's disgusting.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
That's disgusting.
Unless you have a really, really good reason, I guess.
I live with my parents.
Okay, well then.
Why is that so
oh,
disgusting?
sorry.
It's different though.
Oh, Derek is so
Derek's
high
out
today.
of-
He's out of his mind stone today.
You live with your parents, but don't they have their own part of the house?
Yeah, they do. Yeah.
Actually, his parents live with him.
Yeah, well, same thing. We all live together.
Right, but that's
Yeah,
nice.
don't make it gross.
But I
Paul.
have my own car, and I would pick you up on the first date, Danny.
All right, thank you.
All right.
Yeah, I mean, I think Tori's talking more like never
live in your
moved out of
mom's
the house,
basement, yeah.
living in the basement. Yeah, and
My parents live in my basement. That seems cruel when I say it that way.
Tori's parents live in her freezer.
They're cold.
Derek, fill in the blank. I couldn't be with someone who
Doesn't love the greatest sport in the world, the National Football League. If you don't enjoy watching a game of football, there's something seriously wrong with you.
He's right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
I was trying to think of the hook. Like, why is that funny or weird? Oh, it's not.
No, we
okay,
all
yeah.
we all agree, and that does not happen often. Thanks for all your calls and texts. We are playing a brand new game. It is time to start it right now. This game is called Paul, Roger, or Paul Rogers.
Paul, Roger, or Paul Rogers.
You could win a pair of tickets to see Paul Rogers, September 29th at the Emerald Queen Casino. Get it? If you want to win these tickets and play the game, call right now, 800-252-1025. KZOK. We are giving you a chance to see Paul Rogers September 29th at the Emerald Queen Casino by playing Paul, Roger, or Paul Rogers. So here's how this works. Danny's going to give you some song lyrics. And to win, you'll have to tell us if they were written by a Paul, a Roger, or Paul Rogers.
Yeah, okay. I got that.
All right. Well, let's see if our contestant, Alan in Seattle, does.
Hey, Alan, how are you?
Hey, doing good. How about yourself?
Very well, thank you for asking. Do you understand the words that are coming out of my mouth?
Most times,
And then do you understand the rules of the game?
yes, I do.
Then let's get to it. Written for his wife, who helped him through a tough breakup with his former band, a band you have probably heard of. He wrote, "Maybe I'm a man and maybe I'm a lonely man who's in the middle of something that he doesn't really understand. Maybe I'm a man and maybe you're the only woman who could ever help me. Baby, won't you help me understand?" Was that written by a Paul, a Rogers, or a Paul Rogers?
Oh, Paul Rogers, of course.
Oh, no, unfortunately.
Did you understand the rules of the game? I even asked you if you understood the rules.
Alan, I'm sorry, that
Alan.
is incorrect.
And you're an ass.
Oh, Danny.
Well, I was rooting for him. I liked everything about the guy.
And your dramatic reading was fantastic,
Dude,
man. How could you get it wrong?
How do you not get that right?
So good.
It is hard song lyrics when they're not sung, when you just speak them. But
Well-
Larry and SeaTac, do you need Danny to read the clue or do you know the answer?
I would say it's Paul.
I would say it's
Yeah,
Paul.
yeah,
Yeah,
I'd say
yeah.
it's
We
Paul
would
too,
all
yeah.
say it's Paul.
It is Paul.
By the way, the lyrics to this song are tattooed on my shoulder.
Oh, really?
That's how I knew it was a Paul.
Well, the reason that Alan got it wrong is he said Paul Rogers. It is Paul
yeah.
McCartney.
Yeah.
Larry and SeaTac, my friend, you have won a pair of tickets to see Paul Rogers September 29th at the Emerald Queen Casino. You're going to pick up your prize at the Jeep winner's window in our lobby, and the rest of you will play another exciting round of Paul, Roger, or Paul Rogers tomorrow at 7:20. And up next, the big news of the day.
That is, in fact, the big news of the day, and it's brought to you by Goldberg Jones Divorce for Men. Call 1-800-DIVORCE, or you can go online to goldbergjones.com. And more interesting information, Rick Jones live in studio this Wednesday, giving out all things divorce advice-wise.
Rick Jones.
Rick Jones.
Well, in the big news,
Yeah.
a stamp that mistakenly featured the image of the Statue of Liberty. All right, so let me try to explain it this way. The Postal Service comes out with a stamp of the Statue of Liberty, but they use the one in Vegas instead of the one in New York.
No way. Really?
Really, Danny. And it's going to cost them $3.5 million because that Statue of Liberty is copyrighted. So the one in Vegas.
So it's not reprinting the stamps, it's having to pay to use the image they already used.
Yes. They use the one in Vegas, which, when you compare them side by side, look different.
Right.
The guy who made
For example, is the one short?
Well, it's not that. The face itself
It's like
is
a
different.
close-up.
It's a close-up of the face. So the stamp is the face of the lady, Lady Liberty, but she has like fuller lips and a more narrow
What?
face.
She's no lady. Did you see how
she's
far
hot.
up that lady's dress the other lady crawled? She gets around.
The sculptor, Robert Davidson, who created the replica Lady Liberty, sued them over their forever stamp and has won, and it's to the tune of $3.5 million.
Okay, he created something called the replica of the thing.
Something else, right.
How can you trademark that? Like, it's already a thing, and you're copying it.
Well, because like I said, it does look different.
Yeah.
And the people who used it said they wanted to use that version because she did look different. She was more fresh-faced, even a little sexier.
Yeah.
And they're going to pay the price.
Nothing sexier than a chick with an iron dress.
At least 3 suspected rhino poachers have been killed by a pride of lions after they broke into a game reserve in South Africa. Rangers discovered the remains in the immediate vicinity of the lions' territory in the game reserve.
Is it wrong that I'm, like, rooting for the Lions?
No,
like, yeah,
not at
nope,
all. You're
go for it,
absolutely right.
Lions.
Well, so these guys break in, and they're like, let's go get some rhino horn.
Not only do I am with you that they're poachers and they got eaten by lions and
Yeah.
good, I think we should train the lions to then get to the country that wanted the rhino horn as medicine, still thinks that's funny, and release the lion in your house.
Yeah. I
I'm
think
with you.
And see if the rhino medicine can make you stronger than the lion. I say nay.
Like, I think it would be better if they were killed by rhinos, but the fact that they're killed by a lion is still pretty awesome.
Yeah, it's almost as good.
Well, what happened was they found a rifle with a silencer, wire cutters, an axe, and 3 pairs of shoes. They found a bit of pelvis and 1 skull.
A bit of pelvis?
Yes. So they found shoes,
Yeah.
a pelvis, a skull, everything else. Nom, 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 nom.
Oh, okay. I got really confused. I thought they'd killed another. Okay, so that's what the lions left.
Human pelvis. Yeah. So, I mean, they use the whole animal. That's great about
But
the
no.
lions, really.
Yeah, it's absolutely poacher to table.
Yes.
Yeah, they ate them up. They said
Not the shoes. They won't eat shoes.
they
But
didn't want the shoes. And they said that they just picked the wrong pride
Yeah,
to mess with.
especially it was Pride Week. It's bound to happen.
Yeah.
You give a lion and his whole family a rainbow flag,
Yeah.
they're about to eat some poachers.
On to Nigeria. A Nigerian healer died after attempting to demonstrate his bulletproof charms to a client.
I was trying so hard to hold back the laughter. Because that seems inappropriate to laugh at.
Yeah, don't know. It does. Seems a little bit. But we would have been okay if we hadn't already done the lion thing.
Yes.
So, all right. So, what's happening? Because, by the way, it starts off bad for business. The magic guy died.
Yeah.
That's bad for business.
Right.
Well, charms are popular in Nigeria.
They're not lucky. They're not lucky charms.
Not in this case. Even some of the police officers use bulletproof charms and say this is going to help us so that we don't get shot.
Sure, yeah.
Well, this young man went to the healer and said, would you make me some bulletproof charms? And the guy said, yes, and I'll even show you how well they work. Take my gun and shoot me. So he did.
Yeah.
Well, guess what doesn't work?
Magic.
His
Bulletproof
charms.
Yeah.
There is no such thing as a bulletproof charm, and the healer did not survive.
Well, I'm incredibly sad for the guy.
Yeah,
but by the way, if he'd have only been hurt, see, that's the problem. He's a healer, not a deader. If you get him all the way to dead, he has no powers over that.
You remember when Donald Trump was mocking North Korea's leader, Kim Jong-un?
Yeah, Rocket Man.
Little Rocket Man, yeah.
Rocket Man. According to several sources, including the South Korean newspaper Chosun Ilbo, when Secretary of State Mike Pompeo met with Kim Jong-un, he gave him the Elton John CD containing Rocket Man, autographed by Donald Trump.
Wow.
Autographed by Donald Trump.
Yes.
I didn't know he could sing.
Isn't that kind of insulting? Like,
I would think so.
See, I would think so. Now I'm going, hey, does Kim Jong-un or whatever his name is these days,
yeah.
does he have a way better sense of humor? And by that I mean any sense of humor. Because I wouldn't make this call.
He doesn't look like a guy who's in on the joke.
I go for the joke way too often. Like, I do the thing, and then turns out Paul doesn't think his mom's funny or something like that. He's like, nope, that's where you crossed it. My mom is not that way. Oh, I get the feeling that Kim Jong-un, his mom's probably off the table.
We don't know
that's
how
not what I actually heard. I've heard she's on the table, if you know what I'm saying. See if he thinks that's funny, bitch.
We do not know how Kim Jong-un reacted, but Donald Trump did reference Elton John at a rally in Montana over the weekend. Here's a bit of the audio.
I have broken more Elton John records. He seems to have a lot of records. And by the way, I don't have a musical instrument. I don't have a guitar or an organ. No organ. Elton has an organ. And lots of other people helping. We've broken virtually every record because, look, I only need this space. They need much more room. For basketball, for hockey, for all the sports, they need a lot of room. We don't need it. We have people in that space. So we break all these records.
I'm not even sure what to
What is he talking about?
What's he talking about? Was he in a stadium?
Size, yeah. So he's saying that crowd size, he breaks everybody's records, but particularly Elton John's. And Elton John has an organ. He doesn't even have an organ.
I don't even have an organ. You'd think a guy that got so upset about the small hands thing would have gotten the old joke, I don't have an organ.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have said that.
He had more to say.
I'd have said it.
But really, we do it without, the musical instruments. This is the only musical, the mouth. And hopefully the brain attached to the mouth, right? The brain, more important than the mouth, is the brain.
He did a little Bill Cosby impression in there.
Yeah. I can't do a Bill Cosby because I can hear it in my head.
The words were, and hopefully the brain attached to the mouth, but he did a little Bill Cosby.
He did.
It reminds me, too, of Howard Dean.
You did? Oh, nope, I can't do it, man.
He was, getting so excited, and he started to sound insane.
Yeah.
Started? What happened after hello? He went crazy.
Super odd. Do you guys remember the man who ate a Kit Kat bar wrong?
Yeah.
Yes.
And the internet was incensed.
I was incensed.
He ate the Kit Kat bar by taking a giant bite out of it, and his girlfriend said, I don't know what to do. Should I break up with him? And the internet said, yes.
Yeah.
Well, she did not. They are still together, and he and she have gone viral again because he made a Kit Kat bar it was a fake Kit Kat bar, looked just like a real one, with a secret compartment inside that hid an engagement ring.
And she ate it. Did she eat it?
Dump him right now. Dump him right now.
He 3D printed a fake Kit Kat bar and got down on one knee and pressed a little button, and the Kit Kat bar opened up, and there was a little ring inside, and she said yes.
It's adorable.
Why are you talking like that?
I don't know.
I think it's very stupid. I think the whole thing's stupid.
Why?
Because he's starting a new life. He's got enough money for an automatic Kit Kat bar. You push a button, flaps come out,
It does
ring
seem
goes
very
up.
spy-like.
Well, it's why you marrying James Bond, who done 5 minutes ago didn't even know how to eat a Kit Kat.
Well, it turns out Kit Kat helped him financially. They helped make the whole 3D print of the fake Kit Kat bar because Kit Kat got a lot of press from this dude. and his inability to eat it correctly.
You know, there's a lot of stuff in the world going on like that. Ask me what I heard in Paris.
What'd you hear in Paris?
I'll tell you what I heard in Paris, young lady. I heard Weezer's cover of Toto.
Yeah?
I heard that in a street, in a restaurant in Paris.
Wow.
Well, that's a way to get some press these days, I guess.
The big news of the day is brought to you by Goldberg Jones, Divorce for Men, 1-800-DIVORCE, or find them online, goldbergjones.com.
Hey, I'd like to remind everybody that Rick Jones is going to be coming here. I gave it short shrift a minute ago. He's going to be in here on Wednesday. If you have a question about, hey, he's divorcing me, she's divorcing me, somebody's divorcing you, who's getting the house, who's getting the kids, all of that stuff, be here Wednesday morning for all that. Now, stick around for business news with Jim the Flagger.
And now, business news from Jim the Flagger.
It's tariff time. After weeks of back and forth from the White House on China trade policy, the Trump administration is set to impose tariffs on $34 billion in Chinese goods. The tariffs target electronic components and add to the ones already in place for materials like steel and aluminum. The administration tried to impose a specific tariff on Chinese food as well, but it turns out that in China, they just call it food.
Thank you for that, Jim. I got the app. I never thought I'd say that. Hey, you with the baseball. I got the app. I don't even know what that meant. But anyway, I do. I have the radio app, and it's got all your favorite music, all your favorite stations, all free. You can listen right now on your smart speakers. Just go, Alexa, play KZOK on iHeartRadio, and it will happen for you. Or, okay, Google, play KZOK on iHeartRadio.
Well, we've been keeping a close eye on the rescue situation in Thailand. We now know 8 of the 12 boys have been rescued, which leaves 4 boys and the soccer coach, so the adult. They are making good headway, but people have just been riveted. Watching this. I mean, the whole situation has been so crazy. People riveted, including Elon Musk, who... before this morning, he did this over the weekend, sent a kid-sized submarine to Thailand, thinking that if you could put the kid in there...
But they just happened to have one?
No, he had his engineers build it out of parts of one of his rockets. And he said, he said it should be ready in about 8 hours, and then they finished it and sent it.
Try doing that when you're buying one of his cars.
Right?
I'd like this in 30 minutes or less, and my pizza's free. They take forever. But you know what? Good on that guy. He's kind of, I don't know that he's a hero or not, but I'm definitely just riveted by this rescue.
Yeah, and when it first happened 2 weeks ago, it just seemed like those poor souls were not going to survive.
Yeah.
And now... like I said, 8 of 12 of them are out. They all seem to be in good health.
On my outside, with my outside voice, I was saying, God love them, God will save them, which I think still to be true. But my inside, my outside, my whispery voice thought, eat the big one.
Oh,
so that's just what I thought. I said, go with the coach on this. You know, what good did he do you so far? Eat the coach.
But people have just been riveted, and it's also at a time when the World Cup is going on, and people have been riveted by World Cup.
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
there's all sorts of stuff going on.
Yeah, it could be. I mean, those are 2 totally different types of events, but lots of times this sort of thing happens, and you just are glued to the coverage.
I will. It's from a while ago, so I don't know who remembers it or saw it. I'm sure it's been in so much press. Anybody remember Baby Jessica?
that the one who fell down the
fell
well?
fell down a well and
Yeah.
was down there for like 60 days or something like that.
I think that was the early 80s.
Yeah, I don't really know. It was definitely in the 80s. It was definitely in the 80s.
Yeah.
And I thought that was amazing. I was riveted to that. And I was drunk and high and all sorts of stupid, you know, in the 80s whenever that happened. But I remember just being, and then here's the thing. She gets rescued by this guy who never leaves, 60 hours, not 60 days, never leaves, and sings Winnie the Pooh songs to her. Recently went to jail for 20 years for being a molester guy.
No
Yeah,
way.
like I couldn't believe that when I just because this guy was like a full blown hero, and I had heard that he got weird and committed suicide, which may or may not be true. I didn't really look this stuff up, but the baby Jessica thing was just out of control. The nation stopped waiting to see if she'd come out of that well.
Anybody who knows 60 hours worth of Winnie the Pooh songs, though, has to be some kind of weirdo.
Right, exactly right. Well, I don't know that they were all brand new words, Paul. I think they might have been Winnie
there
the
were some
Pooh,
repeats.
Winnie the Pooh, Scooby-Doo, Doobie-O, Poopa-Doopa-Doo.
You guys listening, what event had you riveted? Everyone glued to their TVs watching this dramatic rescue unfold in Thailand. What's an event that had you riveted?
The world has come to a stop, if you will. Certainly bars, restaurants, airport lounges. Everybody's watching the Navy SEALs rescue those kids in that cave. It is amazing. The question to you out there is, what event had you riveted? Here's the phone number, 1-800-252-1025, or you can text to 90627.
Let's start with Mark in Lakewood.
Hey, I'm Mark.
Hey, how you doing?
Oh, good, buddy. What's up?
Oh, it would have been September 11th, the World Trade Center.
Oh, sure.
Yeah, that happened while I was on the air in Los Angeles because of East Coast time. And we were watching the first one because I guess I had less of an attention deficit disorder than I have now. We had CNN running all the time in the studio. And then we're just watching it and like, yeah, the World Trade Center's on fire, but it's a New York building. I don't really care all that much. It's a high rise and it's on fire. And then we watched the second plane crash in. And it was just, I think, not only did America change, I changed. I feel I did anyway.
I
It
mean,
was an amazing moment.
Everybody absolutely riveted watching that coverage for sure. How about Steve calling from Olympia? What's an event that had you riveted?
Hey, Steve.
Hey, how's it going, guys?
Oh, good. What do you got?
Well, I remember in high school game, Iran-Contra.
Yeah, that was a thing. So what was it? Was it drugs for guns?
It was. It was cocaine for spare parts to Iran.
Dig that. We're actually trafficking cocaine in order to get guns, in order to get hostages let out. It was a wild situation over there. What's that guy's name? Colonel, I forget his name. I remember his girlfriend's name, Fawn Hall. What's his butt?
Oliver North.
Oliver North.
Oliver
That's
North.
right.
We are asking, what's an event that had you riveted? People have absolutely been riveted by the boys being rescued in Thailand. A lot of people riveted by World Cup. People have been riveted by the Olympics. I didn't get that feeling this last time around. People being riveted by it.
I don't know, but I remember sometimes being riveted and years go by. I guess it has to do with the host country or something.
It does. And I remember when David Letterman sent his mom to like Lilliput or Lilyhammer.
Lilyhammer.
So many people were watching because she was hilarious.
Yeah, I sent my mom, except not the same games. I sent my mom to Japan.
Oh, cool.
Did you really?
And she would do call-in things and
That's great.
other disc jockeys because it was a free disc jockey thing, and I didn't want to go. And so all these other disc jockeys would grab the phone away from my mom and say, "Man, how's your mom possibly drink this much? What's going on?" I said, it couldn't have been a better bit.
800-252-1025. What's an event that had you riveted? Let's talk to Tony and Kapowsin.
Hey, Tony.
Good morning, everybody.
What's up, man?
So, in, I believe, 1969, I watched astronauts walking on the moon. Watching it live, Sarah.
You watched the soundstage live.
Yeah,
It's
as if
true.
it even happened.
Don't you just hate them, Tony?
But I mean, he's right that for a generation of people, that was the most riveting moment that they'd lived through.
Yeah, and should have been, and was. I remember being in, because I think I was 9 when that happened, and you didn't sit near my dad. You escaped before you noticed you were there, and wanted something, wanted to kick your ass for some reason. And I remember sitting there right next to him. He was right next to him in a big stupid chair. Yeah. I mean, I was not stupid enough, even though I was 9, to go, "Oh, this is how life's going to be from now on." I didn't think that, but it was a good moment for me.
A great text into 90627 in this order: the Berlin Wall coming down and the episode of The Partridge Family where they sent an SOS using the fireplace. Those are the two times in life
sure.
that they've been so riveted.
Smoke signals, because that episode was no less racist than a couple of the other dicey ones that we did.
Oh, yeah.
There have been some show finales that had people riveted, whether it was Sopranos,
MASH,
MASH was
Lost. There have been so many. Dallas.
Can you not get enough polar bears? Lost. There's a polar bear.
When I was in Canada, by the way, there was somebody who had that vehicle, the bus, and we couldn't figure out why would they have the bus from Lost in the middle of Churchill, Canada. Oh, the polar bear.
Oh, yeah.
There's a polar bear in Lost.
I knew there was a polar bear,
but it wasn't.
I didn't know that there was a bus.
The 70s VW bus.
Yeah, right.
And it had Dharma on it and everything.
But
And
where's
Greg.
the jungle in Churchill, Manitoba, Canada?
There at KZOK.com and look at my pictures.
Yeah,
Paul.
Jungle.
You'll see.
I looked
You'll
at the
see,
pictures.
Paul.
I saw ice and no jungle.
There's a big sign that says, "Welcome to the jungle."
What event had you riveted, James and Bothell?
Hey, James.
Good morning. Yeah, for me, it was the Challenger spacecraft.
Yeah, that was crazy.
Another big one from the 80s. Was that 86?
It was somewhere in there, yeah.
I think.
Boy, that was...
Just watching the cloud plumes and just the spacecraft disintegrate on TV. It was incredible.
What was so wild about that? I mean, they still use this as examples, but kids all gathered around to watch this momentous occasion.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
It was not supposed to end that way.
No.
To have little children watching this event did not go the way it was supposed to. How about Linda calling from Seattle?
Hey, Linda.
Hi.
Morning.
What had me riveted was the O.J. Simpson chase.
Yeah, the white Bronco slow speed chase.
Yep.
I was waiting for your call. For a couple, because, I mean, once you say what polarized you, what had you in front of the TV, there's only like 10 things they can be. And one of them was 9/11, and the other one's the O.J. Simpson.
Right.
I wonder if they back then did ratings. Like, if you could have quantified that, there are probably more ratings for O.J. Simpson's white Bronco chase in the Super Bowl.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, I believe
Everybody
it
was watching Who Was Born.
It was CNN, and you absolutely can check the ratings on that.
How about Lauren in Burien? What's an event that had you riveted?
Columbine.
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah, that was
Oh, it just gave me goosebumps.
because you just
Awful.
wondered so much.
Yep.
You know, now I don't know if we're less innocent or what it is, but now when I see it, I don't go, well, how did that possibly happen? I think, why did it happen? I think a lot of things. But when at Columbine in the long trench coats and the AR-15s, I couldn't get my head around it at all. And you know, that they also killed themselves at the end was a surprise. I didn't see coming. Wacky teenagers out of their mind want some attention, doing the unthinkable, but I didn't see them killing themselves at the end, and they most certainly did.
That's
and good.
The first time I remember that much coverage and that much detail on the shooters, on the plans, on everything.
Was Columbine,
Yeah.
yeah. I don't know if it's where I'm from, being from Boston, but the Boston Marathon bombing, I just could not stop
Oh,
watching.
right, sure.
I mean, we've got so many terrible things. There must be some events that had people riveted that weren't awful. Let's talk to Chris and Ording.
Hey, Chris.
Hey, how's it going? Yeah, what had me riveted was back in 1994, the infamous towel match between Bob Backlund and Bret the Hitman Hart. It had me hooked.
Big wrestling match.
Well, you know what? I mean, it's a grown-up soap opera. It's a lot of fun, but isn't at least one body in that scenario dead?
You know what? It was the brother of Bret the Hitman Hart.
Yeah.
He
Fell from the sky.
That's terrible.
Exactly.
Oh,
yeah,
wow.
it's crazy.
Crazy.
Another one on a lighter tip. I can't remember. Was it Live Aid, where they had concerts all around the world and it took place over an entire weekend?
It might have been, yes, to that. It also might have been Hands Across America, where people really lined up. You went to stations to hold hands.
No, I'm talking about the concert, though, and they played it on television over a 3-day period, and you watched Australia and England and America and all these different concerts, so it was 24 hours of, like, the biggest artists of all time.
Yeah.
All over the world, and that just a bit of a lighter one to...
Good.
It was
Well,
a concert.
then I don't know if this is lighter or not. No, it's certainly not lighter. It's just not as bad as it could be. the Patty Hearst situation, the Patty Hearst kidnapping by the Symbionese Liberation Army.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's how much I remember that. I remember the Symbionese Liberation Army.
Yeah.
But, everybody, because all of a sudden one day, hey, is she really a victim? And then nobody knew. And
Were you old enough to watch that? Wasn't it the early 70s?
I don't know. But if I was old enough to be on television in the early 70s, it's probably old
I wouldn't
enough
think
to-
you'd have time to watch television since you were on it.
I don't remember, but I remember having time to watch it. I remember everybody was watching it.
I have a lighter one that wasn't even that long ago. It's just a year and a half or so ago.
What's that?
The Eagle Cam. You remember?
yeah.
There was that eagle nest in D.C. and the little baby eagles popping out of the eggs out. So I watched that on my computer all the time. I watched it at work. I remember when one of the eggs was getting ready to hatch, I was watching it live on my phone in the grocery store.
What happened to porn like a normal person?
Trying to see this little eagle come out. It was so cute.
Was it wearing any clothes?
No.
I'm pretty sure,
Okay.
Derek,
The
weren't you
bird.
riveted by one of those, like the
The
giraffe?
The giraffe cam,
Yeah.
yeah.
The two manly men on the show
Yeah.
riveted by baby animals.
Hey, the eagle was the original one. The giraffe was a copycat.
Bill in Bellevue says JFK assassination. That might have been the original riveted to your television. Tori, what is yours?
I was riveted by Harry Styles at the concert on Saturday. Okay, so I will say that was the loudest concert I've ever been to. I've never heard that many girls screaming at once.
No kidding.
Yeah, it was ear-shattering. It's kind of like a mini version of Beatlemania, maybe?
That's crazy.
Yeah.
And Tori's been to innumerable concerts.
Tons.
That's the loudest.
Yeah.
Wow.
He's got a 70s vibe going on. You should check him out. Everyone should.
Everyone should check
Everyone
out
should.
Harry
He's like
Styles.
Mick Jagger.
Can I have your rock cred card back, please?
Oh, no.
Derek, did you have another one other than the giraffe cam?
Every winter when there's a crazy huge storm, I love watching the newscasts for all of the traffic accidents where people just go sliding down hills and you'll see one car after the other. It's like, you just saw another person do that. Why are you trying to go down that hill thinking it's going to be different for you? So I'll just spend hours just watching cars crash into each other.
You don't know
fun.
how
It's
many
so fun.
girls' dads have said that to my dates. What make you think it's going to be different for you?
Thanks for your calls and texts. We will be back in just moments with the news. Costco has announced changes to its food court. They are doing a push towards healthier items in stores.
No.
Move on.
And they also making a push to more expensive items? Because that's the other thing. That's the two things.
Yeah, we've decided no.
Here's the good news. Customers can still get the original hot dog and a soda for $1.50.
Not true. It's not true.
Oh, it's true. At the Seattle one, you cannot.
And then a couple others. You know why you can't?
You can get
The soda
a diet
tax.
soda, right?
Yeah. They automatically, they tell you. Oh, man, I'm mad.
Hot dog and diet soda.
I'm going to find Mr. Cos or Mr. Co. and I'm going to express my dismay.
However, Costco said they are trying to now add different things that are healthier, like an organic burger, a vegan protein salad, and acai bowls, which are pretty delightful.
Yeah, actually, a couple of those things are actually okay. Because I'm not going to protest just to protest. Turns out I had one of those acai bowls, I don't know, 3 weeks ago. It was really good. I was not expecting that.
They're getting rid of the Polish dog, though. So you can
Are
get
you
the regular
crazy?
hot dog. You can get the regular hot dog in a pop, but you can't get the Polish in a pop.
He's right. No
Could
more
you always
Polish.
get the Polish in a pop for
Yeah,
$1.49 or whatever
yeah.
it was? Wow.
Yeah, where do we show up for the riot? Count me out.
Poland, I would think.
Yeah.
Poland's got to be crazy about this.
A local family, the McWhirter family, have made a surprise rescue off of Blomquist Beach. They were on their dock, chilling out over the weekend when they saw a baby deer struggling to keep its head above water. They got into their boat, went over to the fawn, pulled it aboard, saved its life.
Aw.
Did it then just kick their ass? Because that's what I've seen.
That was a baby.
Yeah.
The baby
A
stone.
baby deer doesn't weigh nothing.
Did they eat it?
What is wrong with you people? It's
Yeah,
a
what
nice
do you mean,
story
you
in the
people?
news.
It's an okay story at best.
They saved Bambi.
Yeah, and then they ate it. It's a
eat-
great
you don't
story.
eat
She's
your
right. It's a
Bambi.
great
Fine story.
Yeah. Yeah, baby animals are the most tender.
What is wrong
Not in the
with
sense
you?
that they'll miss you when you're gone.
No.
Kind of tender.
No, they're
totally
easier to
different.
cut.
You shoot them and eat them. They're a little more tender.
President Donald
You know
Trump.
what I do to be nice? I say, hey, Bambi, what's that? He looks away, and then pow! Right in the brainstem. This was fun.
Right
This is not fun.
He said right in the brain
Yeah, he did.
Is that not a thing?
I thought I was brutal enough. And you said it right in the brain.
You didn't have to articulate it.
What? You'd wound it. I'm turning its lights out right away.
President Donald Trump has narrowed down his choice for his Supreme Court nominations. According to sources, it's down to 4 candidates. He will make the announcement tonight, 6 p.m. Those 4 individuals are reportedly Brett Kavanaugh, Amy Coney Barrett, Raymond Kethledge, and Thomas Hardiman.
So if we tune in tonight at 6 p.m., he's going to fire 3 of them? Like they're in the boardroom?
Yeah, you're fired.
He fires 3 of the 4?
You're fired.
Yeah.
Hey, that wasn't terrible.
That was good.
you.
Best compliment I'm going to give you on it, but that was not terrible.
Earlier in this show, we had a brief conversation with our friend Denisha, who said she could not date an atheist.
Yeah.
We talked about being agnostic and atheism and
Yeah,
Buddhism.
an agnostic doesn't believe in my God, okay, but he goes, hey, let's not be stupid and say I don't believe in any kind of God. I'm with the agnostics. I'm not one, I don't think, but the atheists, you're all mean.
I think the agnostic's just like, I don't know.
Yeah, it is. I don't know.
Yeah, there's no evidence.
But you
that
show
really
me,
sways
you
me,
show
but-
me a bearded guy in a robe floating over my city,
Yeah.
I'll immediately become a believer.
Yeah, like if I see light at the end of a tunnel, I'm going to go towards it. I mean, I'm
Right.
not crazy.
Well, the president of the Philippines has been sparking outrage for his comments about religion, calling God stupid, and he is now courting new controversy with his largely Roman Catholic country by saying he will resign if anyone can prove that God exists. President Duterte gave a speech and said, "Where is the logic of God? If there is one single witness who can prove, perhaps with a picture or a selfie, that a human is able to talk to God, I will resign."
I have heard that Manny Pacquiao actually has one.
A selfie with
Picture
God?
picture with him and God. It says, I think I won this fight. I'm pretty sure I won this fight, God. I think I won that fight.
He went on to say, "Who is this stupid God? This son of a bitch is really stupid. You, I don't even want to finish reading that."
Yeah. That's crazy. I mean, your whole country is Roman Catholic.
Yeah, something like
Practicing Roman
95%.
Yeah. I would say less stupid things.
Yeah.
Although I'm on the radio and you think, you should probably say less stupid things. And I refuse.
When it comes to rent, turns out there is one city that is leaps and bounds more expensive to live in than others. A new study by WalletWays has tracked averages of 540 cities around the world, tracking rents, and it turns out one city is more expensive than the rest. Would you care to guess?
World or America?
World.
Singapore.
San Francisco.
No.
They begin with S's.
This
That's
is
true.
There you go.
Essentially
This
the
is
same
true.
thing.
Singapore, the most expensive city
No,
to live
San
in.
Francisco.
Yeah.
What did I say? Singapore. So yeah, sorry.
San Francisco.
It's because you
Francisco.
trust everything that comes out of my mouth.
The average rent in San Francisco, $3,500.
Jeez. And that's average. It's got to be either a studio or a one bedroom at best.
It's
for 3
crazy.
Gs.
Yep.
Yeah, I had some friends who moved to San Francisco and rented a 1-bedroom apartment, sight unseen, $2,800 in a bad neighborhood. They're like, yeah. We got a killer deal, $2,800 bucks for a
killer,
1-bedroom
literally.
apartment. Yeah.
Hamilton, Bermuda, second place. Their rent, $3,400. Manhattan, third place, $3,050.
Wow.
Fourth place, San Jose, California. The next at number 5 is a tie, Oakland, Hong Kong. The rest of the
Picking
list.
Hong Kong.
What about Vatican City? That place is swanky.
They're totally out of properties. You can't rent anything.
Berkeley and Boston tied for 6th place, and a lot of different ties after that, including number 11, Bellevue, tied with other people. 13th place, most expensive rent in the world, Seattle, $1,950.
Bellevue higher on the list than Seattle.
Yep.
1,900. Wow. I got a rental property here, and I think I get $1,700 for it. And then you have to take out all the things, including the loan. I think I lose about $4 a month on that thing. But I got it, and I get $1,700 a month for it.
Well, on the other end of the spectrum, the people who pay the least rent, Mysore and Vadodara, both in India, and the Philippines. Rents are about $100.
Wow.
Cheapest in the U.S. of A., Springfield, Missouri. Rent is $550.
Okay, not to be mean to my fellow Americans, what a stupid place. I had a job there
Missouri.
over a weekend in a bar.
Yeah.
Oh my, and on an army base. Like you should have thought, well, but he's going to be relatively well behaved. Their sergeants are in here. Nope. That is not what happened.
A Maryland man got a scratch-off lottery ticket, took a look at it and said, this is a loser.
I gavalt.
He hands it to his buddy who collects the losers for a second chance program. You have to sign your name and print stuff on the back, and it's a second chance program. So he's like, here you go. I know you're doing these. And he hands
It's
it
just
to him.
like if you're a felon.
No, it's a second chance to win the lottery.
Right.
So he hands this scratch-off ticket that's a loser to his buddy, and his buddy leaves, takes a look at it, goes back over to his house and said, dude, this is worth $50,000.
Wow.
He
Wow,
did
that
not,
is a friend I do not have.
Yeah, man.
He said, you're lucky I like you.
Yeah.
I would not have expected it, to be honest. If Paul came back over to my house and said, hey, you know that thing you gave me, it's worth 50 G's, I would say, so you cashed it and you already were with the woman or whatever it is that you've done with my money.
Yeah.
I couldn't live with myself. If Paul gave me his scratchy and said, this is a loser, and I went and cashed it for 50 grand.
Oh, I could
couldn't live.
happily live with myself.
Yeah,
No
because I
problem
would think
at all.
I would think like this. Let's say Tori had one, and I noticed it. I would give it back to her, and I'd say, "Listen, sweetheart, you're a winner on this one." Paul hands me a winner ticket, and I go, "Well, you're terrible.
Well, thanks, Dan.
You're a horrible human being. I don't know how you get through every day." And then I would steal his mony.
Yeah,
And what
I would
about
expect
Derek?
that.
Yeah, you would expect it.
Are you taking Derek's money too? Is it just Tori?
No, totally taking Derek's money. Are you kidding?
eBay is a great place when you're trying to get your hands on a rare pair of sneakers or you want to get rid of some old collectibles. But there was one man selling something a bit weird, a McDonald's burger and fries that he bought 6 years ago and never ate.
Well, that's fantastic.
It's in surprisingly good condition.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It
No,
looks-
I'm telling you, the burger I ate 6 years ago, not in that great a shape, if you know what I'm saying.
It's got a starting bid of $29.99. He says it's in great shape. He said it's no joke. It's a real burger. It's real fries. Original owner, never eaten. The current bid, $82.
They had to take it down. It got up to about $100, and then eBay discovered it, and it violates their food policies because it's not clearly labeled with a Best By date. So
Oh my goodness.
has to be
Best Buy
clearly-
6 years ago.
right. But I think if he would have just put it in some sort of packaging and put used by 6 years ago, then
I have
might have
never
been okay.
bought anything from eBay. I tried to buy something from it once 30 years, whenever it started. And so I got the thing that I was trying to buy.
Yeah.
But I couldn't figure out, what is PayPal? I don't understand.
Oh.
So then I'm trying to pay him. Guy, I have no indication where this guy is or anything like that. So I never pay him.
Yeah.
And since that moment on, I am a terrible threat on eBay.
Yeah,
they
you got
won't let
bad
me
ra-
buy stuff.
Bad rating.
Yeah, exactly.
A Tennessee woman is recovering after a brown recluse spider bit her not once, not twice, but several times.
Is this the slowest woman in the world? How do you not swat it after, say, bite 3?
Yeah.
When you're sleeping.
Oh.
Yeah.
And nobody's there to suck the venom out. I think you do that with spiders too, right?
Sure.
So she was sent to the
This is
emergency
why I steal
room.
your money, Paul.
Couldn't walk, couldn't move, could barely swallow. She was forming bubbles in her lungs.
I fix that.
Yep, bye.
So she didn't pay rent. It said, turns out my entire apartment's full of brown recluse spiders.
It's full of just tons of them all over the place.
They found I'm going to say a farm. That's
A
not
nest?
what a nest.
Yeah.
I found a farm full of recluse spiders.
They're on little tractors. They're plowing the field.
So she didn't pay her rent, and now she is in trouble because she violated her lease agreement by not paying rent.
Did she have the place exterminated?
Well, they said she did. She would have gotten all that stuff done. She wouldn't have had to continue to pay
Right.
rent.
No, she's right.
But you can't not pay rent. You have to pay whatever was due for that month and then take them
And then
to
go
court.
after it.
Yep.
But still, I think that's the way I'd have gone. Is, are you crazy? I can barely swallow.
Yeah.
Savannah said.
I think had she actually brought in an exterminator, she could withhold that amount.
Right.
Whatever she paid for to fix it, she could withhold that amount of the rent.
We have a nice story involving plane travel.
Give us a minute.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, we don't have these very often, so I had to kind of preface it with this is a nice story because all the plane stories have been awful. I was going to say the worst one about animals, I should say, was that poor little dog that died in the overhead compartment.
Yeah, it's sad and horrible.
Second worst, I think.
With animals?
Remember they convinced the little girl to throw her hamster away?
Nah,
that
the
I think
dog-
was worse.
No, the French bulldog. By the way, I
She
was just
flushed it down the toilet.
I was
She shouldn't
just
have
in
done that.
France. They just
Yeah.
call them bulldogs there. Who knew that?
Like a dog died like by accident. One, you tricked a little girl into killing her pet.
That little girl was in her 20s.
Still,
And a bit of a freak, if you ask me.
Now, this is a nice story involving a French bulldog.
Oh, I love French.
Or as they call them in France, bulldogs.
Right. We sit around my house waiting for my cat to die so we can go get one. Because she's a terrible cat and will never make nice ever, ever, ever.
But you're not helping it along.
No, we don't do anything weird to her.
I mean, except feeding it like
No,
lunch deli meat.
Because I do weird stuff to my pets.
Yeah.
And you can't do anything weird to this cat. It'll bite you, it'll kill you.
Yeah.
All right, on to the French bulldog. Darcy was
Yeah.
on a flight from Florida to Massachusetts when the dog started to show signs of distress. Her tongue began to turn blue and she was having difficulty breathing. The flight attendants came over with an oxygen mask
Oh, it's adorable.
and they helped save her life.
Oh, that's adorable. I think I got to try it on. You ready? So what color was it?
What color was it?
The bulldog's distress. It's a dress. It was in a dress. You see?
Really?
Yeah, that's what I'm going for, and I'm standing by it.
Oh,
So everything was fine, though. They got to the ground and they let the dog out and everything.
not going there, Paul. Not
Good, because I hate it, and I want to give it up forever. But I felt if it started to happen right then, I go, I did the distress thing. It was kind of lame.
That was not a good joke.
Yeah,
Danny.
it was not.
The same. We've got music news. We've got entertainment. We have got a pair of Mariner tickets for you. You can win those next. There is the Nielsen Music Mid-Year Report out talking about showing us the best-selling vinyl albums of the year so far.
Well, I don't want to hear it. Then we have to fire Tori, right?
Well, each week on Thursday, Tori tells us about the new vinyl that's coming out. This is a list of all of the top-selling vinyl from January 1st to today.
Hey, and just so you know, that on Thursdays, when you say a bunch of crap and then you say, so tell me, what's the story, Tori? I am riddled with jealousy. I totally want. How's your fanny, Danny? I don't know, but I want one.
How's your fanny, Danny?
How's your fanny, Danny?
That one's going to stick, I think.
Don't stick with my.
Not in England, because you know what that word means over there.
No, yeah, that's the other thing.
What's it?
That's why they attacked my fanny pack.
Did you wear your fanny pack
Hell
around
yes, I did.
Paris?
With pride.
Did you really?
Yeah, sure.
Danny.
I wore a bunch of weird hats that maybe were the wrong choice, but the fanny bag went unnoticed. People loved it.
Yeah, I bet they did.
They did. A bunch of French people wanted to touch it.
They wanted to touch it.
You know they did.
Best-selling vinyl of the year so far at number 1 is Jack White's Boarding House Reach.
Neat.
Best-selling vinyl of the year.
Big
Second-
fan of that guy.
Yeah. hard
Without
not to be.
ever purchasing one of his records ever.
Right.
Having said that, I think he's like a genius.
37,000 vinyl records, which is a lot of vinyl. Second place, Kendrick Lamar's Damn. And believe it or not, some of the best-selling vinyl, classic rock. Fleetwood Mac's Rumors and Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band.
Nicely done, you guys. You going to juggle next?
So, yeah, a lot of vinyl being sold. It was actually a really big week. They've been tracking vinyl sales since 1991, and they said a lot of classic rock is helping to do it. A lot of those remasters that Tori tells us about each week.
Right. So, and that must have been when they stopped figuring out vinyl sales, because before that, everything was vinyl.
It was just sales.
It was just sales. Kind of like French food in China.
Well,
Nope.
No.
in the 1990s, it was cassettes.
Yeah.
Or CDs. They stopped tracking vinyl a while ago. I think as soon as we got cassettes and CDs, but they started tracking it again in 1991 when cool kids started putting out vinyl.
I went to buy a 1972 I think 1977. I went to buy a 1972 Trans Am, the kind like they had in the with that Burt Reynolds movie,
Smokey and the Bandit.
Smokey and the Bandit. I went to go buy one of those, and I get it. And I think it's a selling technique. It has an 8-track in it.
Yeah.
Guess what's in the slot? Partridge Family.
Oh, really?
And I don't know how could they have known I was coming.
That's funny.
But that was really weird. So I didn't buy your car.
You didn't buy it because of that?
No, it wasn't nearly. Man, it's a lot of talk for a car that's not that fast.
Yeah.
A man who gained fame by playing corpses in television shows and movies.
Danny Bonaduce. You've done that, right?
Yeah.
Well, Danny did it once. This guy made his career playing dead
No, no, don't sell me short, sister.
Yeah,
You
where
were
else?
dead at least twice.
I was dead at least. Kurt Russell shot me in the chest with a shotgun.
Wow.
Yeah, he's very upset about something.
Tombstone? Was that Tombstone?
That was Police Story.
No, this is a dude who only
No, it
played dead
wasn't
people.
Tombstone.
He didn't get killed. He was already dead. So he has constantly played dead bodies. So he is called the dead body guy.
Yeah.
His debut was on the TV show What I Like About You in 2006. He's been on tons and tons of different TV shows, always dead.
That was Kevin Costner's first job in a movie. Played the corpse in the Big Chill. I'm colder than you. Yeah, the Big Chill. Yeah, the Big Chill. Kevin Costner dead.
Well, in this case, he is 60.
Kevin Costner is not dead, just to clarify.
No, he's just dead to me.
Yeah.
Kevin Costner.
Oh, his new show, the new series, Yellowstone? Fantastic.
Well, have you seen it?
Yeah, you guys should watch
it.
it.
Looks like something.
It'd be really weird if he just told us that show was fantastic and he never
So
watched
good.
it.
I just told you about somebody who was a famous artist, a favorite artist of mine, and then went, oh, yeah, by the way, I've never paid $1 for their
huge
album.
Jack White fan.
White. Yeah.
Never heard him.
Never heard him.
Bootleg tons of stuff or listen to it on YouTube. It means you can hear it, but you didn't buy it.
YouTube's for cats.
Listen on the radio, Sarah.
Yeah.
What do you say?
Traitor.
Focus.
What do you mean, you people?
Did you say something about cats? I'm watching cat videos right now.
Really?
It's
Are they awesome?
Yeah.
We now know who the godparents are for Prince. Prince Louis.
Oh.
Nicholas van Kutsum,
course.
Guy Pelly, Harry Aubrey Fletcher, Lady Laura Mead, Hannah Carter, and Lucy Middleton. They sound like a bunch of people from Downton Abbey, but
They
they are
do.
real people. They are the godparents for the youngest child of Prince William and Kate Middleton. So not Prince Harry, not the new princess, Duchess,
Right.
whatever, Meghan. Those people are all friends of the family and cousins.
My wife likes the Megan person.
I do too.
Excuse me. Yeah. There's this picture of her in People magazine or something. She's leaning over to the Queen, and the Queen is in hysterics. And the caption is, "What'd she say?"
Yeah.
And, because that's a tough room.
Yep, we don't know. At the box office, despite the hero's diminutive size, Ant-Man and the Wasp scored big numbers at the box office. 76 million opening weekend. We were all on vacation, so we did not hear Derek giving us the rundown of the movies.
Yeah,
Derek,
I missed it.
Did Ant-Man and the Wasp get decent Rotten Tomato reviews?
It did. Big reviews for a little character, 86% fresh.
Very nice.
Huh.
I don't like the premise of that movie.
The first one was supposed to be very good.
Yeah, I didn't like the premise of that movie either, so I didn't see it. No, because you know what? So what? You're fast. I can still beat you up.
Yeah.
You're an ant.
The other...
I can carry 5 times. So you know what? Then carry me to your ass kicking.
The other wide release was another Purge movie, The First Purge, and that came in 4th place. Derek, what were the reviews for that one?
Oh, they would just purge the whole series out of existence. 52% rotten.
Terrible.
Those movies still do well. I
Purge,
don't get it.
purge. Purge is the word. No?
Nope. But it was close. But how do you call this one the first Purge movie? I already saw the first Purge movie.
What are you talking about? Then you're going to get involved with Star Wars talk.
Oh, yeah.
I think that this is going back in time
Yeah.
with Huey Lewis to find out how the Purge actually started. Yeah,
Okay.
Huey Lewis is in this movie.
I'm with you. I think it's all
I
good.
made that up. Incredibles 2, number 2. Jurassic World, Fallen Kingdom at number 3. First Purge at number 4. And Sicario.
Sorry to interrupt. Somebody just texted in, you guys are going to give Sarah an aneurysm. Make sure to work in magma before the show ends. Magma.
What's his name? Because I hate him too.
No.
Let's take a look at sports. Sports brought to you by Bradley Johnson Attorneys. If you're facing a DUI, call 1-800-DUI-AWAY. That's 1-800-DUI-AWAY. We had a big series against the Rockies, interleague play. We did not win Friday. We did not win Saturday, but we did yesterday.
Yeah.
Mariners beat up on the Rockies 6-4. Beautiful day at Safeco Field. It was a win. Ryan Healy had 5 RBI. If you were there, I'm sure you saw, you felt, you heard Mariners KZOK music trivia. This is the song that lights up the stadium. You need to remember the song so you can call to win tickets to an upcoming game.
It's a life-altering event. I went and they put up a certain song. I won't say what it was.
Yeah.
This is 3-4 years ago, my first Mariners game. There's no way you can never forget that experience. The song blasts out there.
That's right. So if you can tell us right now the song from yesterday's Mariners game, you'll win tickets to an upcoming game. Derek, what would they win?
Tickets for the game on July 20th versus the Chicago White Sox, which just happens to be Pearl Jam Fireworks Night.
Pearl Jam Fireworks Night. I went with a group of friends and I guessed the song it was going to be beforehand, and they all got mad at me because they thought I was cheating. I really had no
You
idea.
took a shot in the dark?
Yeah, and I just guessed it.
That's amazing. All right, call right now to win 800-252-1025. The Mariners off today. Up next, the Angels in California. 7:07 start time to be precise. Mike Leake and Garrett Richards on the mound. Off to one of the best starts in team history. It only makes sense that the Mariners will have some representation at the MLB All-Star Game happening Tuesday, July 17th. League-leading closer Edwin Diaz highlights a trio of Mariners so far. He will be joined by breakout outfielder Mitch Haniger and, of course, Nelson Cruz.
Who's the guy with the drop-dead dreamy eyes?
That'd be Gene Segura.
Oh, Gene Segura. So he didn't make the outright selection, but he made the finals for the
having
fan
the dreamiest
votes.
eyes?
For having the dreamiest eyes, yeah. So for fan votes, this is actually the first time any Mariner has ever made the finals for a fan vote.
Oh, my.
So there's 5 finalists for the American League. He's got some pretty stiff competition, Giancarlo Stanton being one of them. But you can vote right now at mariners.com/vote. There's no voting limit. It ends Wednesday at 1 o'clock, but you can vote as many times as you want. So go vote. They're using the hashtag #SendSegura, to get the word out to people. But if you go and vote at mariners.com/vote, every time that you vote, you'll enter yourself for some cool prizes. Like they've got tickets to games, a chance to take a picture with Gene the Hit Machine right down on the field. So that'd be cool. Like there's also an offer. If you vote, you can buy 2-for-1 tickets to a game. So pretty cool.
All right,
sounds great.
Yeah.
But
So
the competition is stiff. It wouldn't be if he didn't have such dreamy eyes.
Yeah, who do you want to see, people? Giancarlo Stanton or Gene Segura?
Gene
the
Segura,
answer's
for
clear.
I don't really know. Just a coworker of ours brought in this thing, and I said we should say something nice. Is that the guy?
No, he's not actually. That guy isn't a Mariner, so he's not in the running. He doesn't play
That
baseball
guy
at
that
all.
was just in here saying a bunch of words
That was
isn't a
Shub.
Mariner?
Shub does not
Shub
play for the
doesn't know
Mariners.
anything.
But hashtag #SendSegura.
Thank you.
Yeah, hashtag dreamy eyes.
The rest of the guys who are going to the MLB All-Star Game, kind of who you would expect: Mike Trout, Aaron Judge, Mookie Betts, J.D. Martinez. In the National League, the Braves and the Cubs have the most, 2 starters apiece. No real big surprises of who isn't being sent, with the exception of Gene Segura.
Yeah.
And Big
Get
Maple.
you voted. Yeah, and Big Maple. Come on,
James
people.
Paxton did not make the
Yeah,
cut.
well, you can't vote for him.
How does Big Maple? Once I know your name, you must be a gigantic star.
Do you know his name?
Big Maple.
But do you know his name?
Yeah, he's named after that hack writer, Paxton, Packleberry. Packenstein.
Yep.
Yeah, all right, told you.
Patterson.
Same
Yesterday,
thing.
the Storm defeated the Mystics, and tomorrow they play the LA Sparks with a noon start time. The Sounders and New England Revolution ended in a 0-0 tie. Up next Sunday, they face Atlanta United at 11. And World Cup action, England defeated Sweden. Croatia defeated Russia. And the semis tomorrow.
Yeah,
Starting
go
at
Belgium.
9. Yeah.
Yeah.
France versus Belgium.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's going to be a tough one.
Yeah, but you've got Belgium. You're like doing the best.
I do, but I thought going in that France had a really good shot at winning the whole thing. So this is going to be their toughest matchup.
Yeah. Well, if what you thought mattered, you owe me money.
No,
but it doesn't.
I picked Belgium to win the whole thing.
Right.
So.
You're
and
doing fine.
They beat Brazil, I thought, rather handily.
How?
Well, with their feet.
Rather handily.
Did he say he wanted to beat him rather handily?
No, you can't use your hands, though. You got to use your feet.
It's Manic Monday at Wimbledon.
That is. I still don't know what that means.
They don't play on Sunday. Everybody plays today. Couple finals already. We saw American John Isner win his match, which is very nice. We still have Federer also won, which was no surprise because he is ranked number 1. A lot of matches still underway. Basically, everybody plays today. Serena Williams, Rafael Nadal, if you're a good player or a bad player, you all play today, making it so manic.
And if you're a player that plays, what's her name? Venus? Is it Venus? You said? Serena.
Yeah.
You're a player that lost.
Right.
In my opinion, because everybody's going to go up against this lady for the next 2 years is going to lose.
Well, she said they let good players and bad players. Did you know that guy Shub that just came in here? He's going to be playing on Manic Monday. Everybody gets to play.
Match. Let me see here. Shub plays at 9:15. Oh, so he's not here because he's
in England, 10,000 miles away or something.
Manic. Quick flight.
Serena Williams, by the way, said that she missed her baby's first steps because she was at Wimbledon.
Oh, hey, let me just throw this out there for you. Not worth it. Big deal.
What?
They'll fall down. They'll get up. They'll do it again.
They were saying playing at Wimbledon wasn't worth it.
I know my daughter's first steps and even where they took place. But it wasn't that okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it didn't happen when her mom was around. So I thought that was kind of awesome.
Everybody has video of everything now these days.
Yeah.
So you'll see it.
You saw Jelly Bean's first steps, right, Paul?
I did, yeah, and I took a video.
She's got a cute kid. All right, that was sports, which is brought to you by Bradley Johnson Attorneys at 1-800-DUIOA.
Yeah.
On tomorrow's show, we do have another chance for you guys to win tickets to see Paul Rogers at the EQC September 29th. That will happen at 7:20. I'll have a filthy forecast for you at 7:50. And at KZOK.com, some delightful
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
vacation pictures.
We're going to hand you entertainment handily.
From polar bears, beluga whales, my trip to Churchill, Canada.
Bunch of French people wearing stupid hats.
Yeah.
There,
I'm pretty sure that was you. And a
I
fanny
did
pack.
wear some stupid hats.
Did you run into any mimes?
Not a one.
Really?
No, I did not.
I
run
thought
it.
the streets of Paris were just littered with mimes.
No, I can see how you would want that, but no, that is not the case. And they're littered with French people, which is kind of weird, but not necessarily the same thing. You know what?
Nobody does it like you, Danny.
Paul, thank you. That's what Paul asked me like first thing this morning, 5:20 in the morning. He said, "How many times did you go?" And I didn't want to let the poor guy down, so I said 72, but I meant 30. All right. Hey, you know, we were on vacation. I would say a lot of things you miss. You miss the great music. You miss the camaraderie. But I miss Steve Slayton.
Me too.
As I'm sitting there wearing my beret and looking stupid, saying, I'm thinking the whole time, where's my Steve Slayton? Well, I know where he is. He's going to walk in this room, and he's going to play a bunch of classic rock for you because that's what he does. We'll get out of his way. Hey, it's nice to be back. Bye.